Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Three more hits for Aaron Judge last night, including his 5th homer of the year. Today, the captain plays in the 1,000th game of his career, while J.C. Escaras is just getting started. His first big league hit closed out the opening homestand on a high note. Now it's off on the road for the first time as the New York Yankees visit the Pittsburgh Pirates on a Friday afternoon at PNC Park in Pennsylvania. And it is great to have you with us, as always, on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Yanks hitting the road, opening things up in Pittsburgh. And a little different tone after losing the first two in that series against Arizona. Battle back with a lot of power last night. Let's get your Hyundai opening comments.
So much talk about power for a team that has 22 homers in its first 6 games, Bob. But I want to talk about pitching, because when the Yankees signed Max Fried to a $218 million free agent contract, they had so much trust, so much faith in him. As a free agent, you want to look out to a team and say, hey, take a chance on me. I can help you. I don't think the Yankees think they're taking a chance with Max Fried. I think they know they are getting a top end of the rotation ace pitcher. His first start for the Yankees was uneven. They scored 20 runs in that game. He didn't end up getting a win. Bob, this is a guy who's going to be elite for them all season. He has so many weapons, and I think they will be on display today.
You and I are going to talk more about Fried coming up. Right now, let's get it out to Pittsburgh. Meredith Marakovitz standing by with the Clubhouse Report, presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, let's start by talking about the lineup and a little different configuration in last night's win. A noticeable name missing today. Tell us about that.
Bob, no Cody Bellinger in this afternoon's lineup. That came as a little bit of a surprise. When I asked Aaron Boone about it pregame, he said Bellinger is dealing with a little bit of a back issue, some soreness that creeped up yesterday. He does not believe it's going to be anything, but they wanted to err on the side of caution, especially considering the fact that it's a quick turnaround for the Yankees. They did not get into their team hotel until about 2:30 this morning. The first bus left at 11 a.m., so Aaron Boone not wanting to take any chances. He said he believes that Bellinger is going to be available off the bench. So with no Cody Bellinger in that lineup, Ben Rice is going to remain in there DHing and leading off. Aaron Judge will bat second, followed by Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Paul Goldschmidt rounding out the top 4 of that order. As far as the outfield alignment is concerned, without Cody Bellinger, it'll be Dominguez in left, Trent Grisham, who's coming off a big 3-hit night where he hit a home run in center, and Aaron Judge out there in right field. Now, I know you guys already hit on it with Aaron Judge, but man, what a season he is off to. He continues to do Aaron Judge-like things. 5 home runs, 15 RBI for him. Aaron Boone told me after the game yesterday that sometimes he just sits there and has to pinch himself and remind himself of the greatness that he is witnessing. It's almost like when he steps into the batter's box and doesn't get an extra base hit or doesn't hit a home run, you think, oh, he could have done a little bit more there, but it's ridiculous, the numbers that he is putting up already. And guys, I think Jazz Chisholm Jr. said it best after the game when I spoke to him. I just want to be like him when I grow up, said Jazz. And I think there are a lot of people around this league, including in that Yankees clubhouse, that believe that, Bob.
Yeah, he's kind of hitting home runs like Judge. Maybe not quite as many, one short, but he's on a good clip so far. Now, we mentioned a noticeable name missing from the Yankees lineup. Noticeable name missing from the pitching rotation this weekend for Pittsburgh, and that's Paul Skeens, and he is a sensation. People love to see it. I'm not so sure the Yankees are disappointed not seeing him this weekend.
Bob, he is absolutely filthy stuff. And I asked Aaron Boone that very same question. On one hand, as a baseball fan, you want to see some of the greatest in the game go against some of the best in the game as well. And Paul Skeens just jumped onto the scene. He is electric. We saw him at the end of last season in New York. He threw 2 scoreless innings, and he really just mowed through the batters that he faced. The Yankees also saw him during spring training, where Aaron Boone said, hey, I had already seen enough. It was a split squad. I decided not to go to Bradenton, saying, I didn't need to see that again. And he kept those same sentiments when I asked him that today, saying, nope, I'm good. We don't need to see him. Actually, when you look at who they're planning on throwing and see his name is not there, you kind of get a little excited, Bob.
Well, yesterday's game, Meredith, pregame, you kind of mentioned that there were going to have to be some wheels turning in terms of the roster for the Yankees, certainly with Devin Williams back tonight off the paternity list. So what's going on with the roster?
Well, that move was made today. Devin Williams is back. He actually boarded the plane with the Yankees from New York yesterday. He is the proud father of a little baby boy, Zavi. So congratulations to the Williams family. Mom and baby are both happy and healthy. And to get him back on the roster coming off that paternity list, Adam Ottavino was designated for assignment. There are also a couple notes when it comes to the injury front, and that brings us to the Morgan & Morgan injury report. We will start with Scott Effross. Guys, you got to feel for Scott Effross. He just seems like he's snake-bitten when it comes to injuries. He was trying to come back from that strained hamstring. He had a little bit of a setback, so according to Aaron Boone, he's currently in a holding pattern. No timeline for him. Also, Jake Cousins is expected to throw off the mound within the next week to 10 days. Tyler Matzik, who's out with an oblique injury, is close to starting a minor league assignment. They believe he could be back by the end of April, and Luis Heel is also expected to start his throwing program within the next 7 to 10 days. So some reason for optimism, and as we know, Ian Hamilton expected back during that Detroit series. So a lot of moves eventually will have to be made, Bob, but the only one that was made this afternoon is Devin Williams is back and Adam Ottavino, DFA.
All right, one final thought before we go. I know you had the chance to talk to Anthony Volpe. What is he saying about his start in terms of just trying to remain consistent over the first week or two of the season?
You know what, Bob, I'm glad you asked that, because when I talked to him, look at the numbers, 4 home runs, 8 RBI, and I asked him what he attributes that early power from, and he had this to say.
Probably the bats.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot has been made of those torpedo bats. I'm not going to ask you about that, but people have been calling you Volpedo. In or out?
In. No, Victus is making the bats. Everyone can get them. It's definitely the only reason we're playing well, doing well, hitting any home runs.
Hey, Bob and Jack, I should say attributes too, but clearly he doesn't believe it's the torpedo bat. A lot has been made of it. I don't know if you want to call him Volpedo or not. That's totally in your jurisdiction. But, Jack, I know you're going to break down those torpedo bats that a lot of Yankees and a lot of other players are using around the league when we get back from the break. And also, don't forget, you can hear from Anthony Volpe, that interview just before the game. And, Bob, before I send it back to you, here's a cool little fact about today's start time. It starts at 4:12, and that's kind of an ode to get community together. The area code here in Pittsburgh is 412. So the last couple of years, starting in 2022, they have decided to start their home opener at 412.
All right, like that. Duly noted. I'm writing that down right now so we know when the game starts and, of course, when it ends as well. Meredith, thank you. We'll see you in just a little bit. Hey, let's take a look at the lineups for both these teams before we go to break. Meredith mentioning the Yankees lineup, courtesy of Toyota, has Rice in the DH spot leading off. Judge, Chisholm, Goldschmidt, no. Cody Bellinger. Goldschmidt in his career against the Pirates at 307 hitter, 23 homers, 80 runs batted in. As for the Pirates lineup, brought to you by Toyota, this is a group that'll face the lefty Max Fried. It starts with Ke'Bryan Hayes, Brian Reynolds DHing. O'Neal Cruz this season has a couple homers and a 400 OBP. And then keep an eye on the battle between he and Austin Wells behind the plate. Already 6 stolen bases in 6 games. Well, they made quite a buzz over the first few games. So, as Meredith mentioned, coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, Jack and I are going to dive deep into the torpedo bats, the origin, the shape, the science. Jack goes over it all, so stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Yankees Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. The Yankees head out on the road for the first time this season, and they meet the Buccos this afternoon. For a same-game parlay, let's go with Aaron Judge to make it back-to-back games with a home run, Jazz Chisholm Jr. to tally at least 2 total bases, and Max Fried to strike out more than 5.5. That parlay would hit at plus 898. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
We're back to cook up something special with HexClad, and this is special. Over the first 6 games of the season, Yankees have 22 home runs. That's most in Major League history. 10 different players have home runs. And then Judge, Jazz, and Volpe, first trio in Major League history with 4 or more home runs. And by the way, those 3 have combined for more home runs than 27 teams. Great to have you back. Jack and I have agreed this segment we're going to torpedo the pregame show completely. But we mean that in a good way because you see Jack has 2 bats. Torpedo bat. First week of the season, Jack has gotten crazy attention. Show us why.
It's gotten a ton of attention, rightfully so. We're going to show you the difference between a conventional bat and the torpedo bat. The torpedo bat in my right hand. And if you look at the barrel area, Bob, that's where the noticeable difference is. And what has happened, and you go back to the Yankees with Aaron Leonhardt, the physicist who had worked for them, you're trying to move some of the wood into the barrel part of the bat. You want the heaviest and fattest part of the bat to be where the batter is likely to make the most contact. You get that to happen, and you can create the most damage. The Yankees were at the forefront of this with Leonhardt. He now works for the Marlins. They've had a lot of other people who have picked it up since he departed, but it has made a lot of players better at making contact in that area.
Did the idea come within the Yankees organization at the time? Is that fair to say?
So you look back to when this was born, and the rough date that has been given is the offseason leading into the 23 season. But in talking to Yankee personnel, Bob, this was an idea that had knocked around the walls of the Yankee offices for a while, and they were finally able to enact it. Leonhardt, obviously, we've talked about him. He's a physicist, a PhD from MIT. He brings some of those ideas over to baseball, and it was player conversations between Leonhardt and other Yankee officials and executives that said, wait a second, how can you make a better model of this bat? And you look at the improvements in bats, they've come every decade in baseball. This one has really stood out. Why? Because over the weekend, the Yankees hit 15 home runs. And in the game where they hit 9 home runs, our own Michael Kay pointed out some of the differences in the bat and pointed out the torpedo bat. It's gotten a ton of attention, Bob.
All right, so I'm a player, and suddenly now, Jack, I'm intrigued by this torpedo bat. I'm not sure I'm buying in yet, but I'm intrigued. What's the process of me getting one?
It's a great question. So what the Yankees have done is they've collected a lot of data. And when you have all of that data, there's a conversation that happens between the Yankees and that player. Here is some information that might help you. Here is something you might want to do to customize your bat. Now, Bob, we have worked in baseball for a long time. People are often resistant to change in baseball. So you've got to have players who are willing to buy into this. You have to have players who are open-minded about this process. You look at the Yankees that we know are using these bats. You have homegrown players like Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells. They obviously trust the Yankee organization. You have newer players like Bellinger and Goldschmidt who have come over and embraced this idea. I will even add Jazz Chisholm to that list because he joined the Yankees last season. So the Yankees give these players that data. And then, Bob, there are multiple iterations of trying to find the right bat. It's not simply, for instance, Wells saying, okay, I swing a 34-inch, 32-ounce bat, and I'm just making up those numbers. Here's the torpedo bat. Go swing it. It's get it in your hands. Get it inside the cage. How does it feel? Because in talking to Yankee personnel, the one thing that they are adamant about is the player has to be comfortable. And I love what Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers manager, said after the Yankees had tattooed his team. He said, listen, it's not the wand, it's the magician. Yes, the bat will do the damage, but it's the person with the bat in his hands who's doing the
All
damage.
right, so let me take the old one out of your hands, because I do want you to illustrate something else. With the torpedo bat, it could be different for, let's say, Volpe has more dense wood here, and maybe Wells does here. That's why they're so player-specific, right?
Right. You could probably say on average you're going down about half a foot from the top of the bat, and I thought Paul O'Neill did a great demonstration of this during last night's broadcast. Where a player's sweet spot is, right here in the barrel area, that's where you want more of that wood. That's where you want a player to be able to have the confidence that when he swings this bat, he's going to be able to do additional damage. And again, it's not for everybody. Recently, we've had elite hitters like Alex Bregman and Max Muncy give it a shot and then put it to the side. Maybe they will go back to it, but it has to be the comfort for the player in his hands to feel as if it's going to work for him.
All right, so having talked about a variety of people that are involved in this process, certainly within an organization, it's not just one guy, one idea sitting there with a lathe making bats, right? It's a collaborative process.
In talking to Yankee personnel, that was one of the points that they emphasized. And if we give Aaron Leonhardt the credit, and that's the origin of where everything started, you have to talk about performance science people. You have to talk about analytics people. It's the scouts. It's the coaching staff. If everyone who has an ability to impact what the Yankees are trying to do. I thought Aaron Boone gave a great answer the other day about trying to improve on the edges. You're constantly trying to get better. And yes, the Yankees have been at the forefront of this. Other teams are scrambling to catch up right now. Before the Brewers left town, left the Bronx, they were asking questions about the torpedo bats because it wasn't something that had really crossed their radar. So if you're the Yankees, you want to leverage that advantage for as long as you can. Teams are going to respond and get their own torpedo bats. But as we have said, Bob, it takes some time.
Yeah.
It's not just reaching into the bat rack and taking the 34-32 torpedo bat. It's making sure it feels extra comfortable in your hands.
I feel like we've torpedoed the viewers with some good quality information on the bats.
I think we have. Just don't ask me, a journalist, to try and get a hit with one of these. Although I think if you were pitching, you'd probably lay one in there. I think I have a chance.
100%. Now, from the bats to the pitching, it'll be Max Fried's second start in pinstripes. And coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we're going to break down what to expect from the southpaw, so stick around.
Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter.
All season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And Jack, maybe viewers made their way down to Pittsburgh and they can show a little love from that beautiful PNC Park.
Love that ballpark.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to cover some games there, and it's a fantastic ballpark. And also check out the Roberto Clemente Museum if you get a chance.
Max Fried would like to make it his ballpark just for tonight. That's it. Then the Pittsburgh fans can have it back. But he's looking to, I'm going to say, continue a decent start. He did give up 6 runs that last time, Jack, but just 2 were earned. He had some sloppy play behind him.
It was an uneven start from a Max Fried perspective, but you're right, Bob. The Yankee defense didn't do him any favors. That's what he's done against the Pirates in his career. He featured those 7 different types of pitches in his initial Yankee start. Interestingly, he did not have that great curveball that he usually features. Gave up 3 hits on that pitch. And I think as much of a competitor as Max Fried is, when you've got a 10-run lead, you're saying to yourself, even if there are errors around me, I've got to figure out a way to get through 5 innings. He fell a little short because of the pitch count, but that was one start. The Yankees are going to get elite Max Fried going forward.
All right, we'll see what we get today. In the meantime, one last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to get Jack's key to the game next. Does Aaron Judge factor in? Does a torpedo bat factor in? I have no idea. We're going to find out next, so stick around.
The Yankees pregame Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast. And the Yankees, they're away in Pittsburgh. Here's how it's looking at first pitch. A cloudy sky, temperatures are cool in the upper 50s. By the 7th inning, grab a poncho, some rain will be coming down, and some of those showers can take you through the end of the game. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Hope, thank you for that. And Jack, I wonder, does that muggy weather, does it keep balls in the ballpark a little more, or does it make them fly out? Maybe there's a little breeze blowing out a certain way. Does that factor into your key to the game?
It sort of does, and I think we're going to find out, and Mitch Keller is going to find out, because my key is about the Yankees keep flipping the power switch. We have seen 22 home runs in the first 6 games the Yankees have played. Now they go on the road. Last year they were 50-31 on the road. The player, as always, to watch, Aaron Judge. Bob, he's playing in his 1,000th game tonight. In his first 999 games, more homers than any player has ever had in that amount of time, 320. The next largest total, Ryan Howard, 279. Wow. So Judge has been the most prolific home run hitter through 999. Even if he doesn't hit one today, most prolific through 1,000.
Hallmark game for him, 37,000 plus expected to be on hand at PNC Park. Yankees Pirates game 1 of a 3-game series coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Enjoy the ball game. We'll see you on the post game.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
It's one of the most beautiful settings in all of professional sports. That's where we'll be this weekend, where it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Pittsburgh Pirates in the first of 3 from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Season start presented by PNC Bank. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. Yankees go 4-2 on their season-opening homestand. Now they hit the road. Right in the middle of everything for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium was Aaron Judge, and he's playing so well, it's almost like he's a cheat code in a video game.
Aaron Judge won the MVP last year, and you couldn't imagine having a better year, but he's having a better start this year than he did last year. And when we watch him, some of the highlights against the Brewers, Nestor Cortez, a cutter on the inner half and a long home run to left field. What you will notice about his hitting style, he hits the ball all over the ballpark, and he does it with power. That's going to be just to the left of center field. If you try to run a fastball in on his hands, he can stay inside and drive it to the right side as well. When we look at his start, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, but the batting average well over 400. A big reason why he goes line to line, driving the baseball. A big 3-run shot last night to get the Yankees going against the Diamondbacks.
And in the early going, he's doing stuff that really has never been done before. First player in Major League history with 5 home runs or more and 15 or more ribbies in the first 16 games. He has 15 runs batted in more than 2 teams combined, 5 home runs, more than 7 Major League teams, including the team the Yankees are taking on today, and that's the Pirates. So the Yankees are trying to start off this road trip in proper fashion with a victory. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup in this one. The Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. Mitch Keller will get the start for the Pirates. Had a good first game. Max Fried pitched all right in the first game. That was the game where the Yankees had the 9 home runs but he didn't go the requisite 5 to get the win.
Yeah, Max Fried got his first Yankee start out of the way, and you mentioned all the run support that he received, but the pitch count got him. He wasn't able to make it through 5 innings to pick up his first Yankee win. We always think of Max Fried with that big 12-6 curveball. He actually didn't have a great feel for that pitch in the start against the Brewers. Looking to rebound this afternoon against the Pirates. We know he gets a lot of soft contact against his arsenal.
He has such a wide arsenal, but then, as John said, 36 four-seamers, and they had trouble with that. 1 for 13, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The other ones, he was trying to get the feel, never really got it, went 4 2/3. Well, the Yankees are hitting homers. Everybody, including their shortstop, Anthony Volpe's been going yard. Well, Meredith Marakovitz catches up with Volpe when we come back right here on Yes.
Welcome back to PNC Park for Yankees baseball on Yes. Meredith Marakovitz alongside Anthony Volpe. Anthony about to get started, the first of a 3-game series with the Pirates. And this Yankees offense has been pretty hot to start the season overall. 22 home runs. What do you make of it?
I think we're just sticking to our plan and executing, getting pitches we can hit and drive. And I think the home runs are just a result of good process and good preparation.
Talk about home runs. Can't not mention Aaron Judge. Jazz Chisholm Jr. said the other day in the clubhouse he wants to be like him when he grows up. But you've witnessed it for a while now. Just what makes him so consistent?
I don't know. I think I agree with Jazz. We all want to be like him, no matter what. When we grow up now, anytime. But just his work and I think his attitude on a daily basis, I think on the field is one thing, but how he treats everybody, I think it translates. And if you're just a consistent person, as you are, I think it translates to the field.
When he's going like he's going, what does that do for the rest of the offense as he comes right over?
Ask him.
No comment.
I think he does it all. He sets us up, he knocks everyone in, but I think when he's going, gives everyone a lot of confidence, and you just take your at-bats, and you know he's going to pick you up.
Well, you've been getting in on the action, too. 4 home runs, 8 RBI through your first 6 games this season. To what do you attribute the early power?
Probably the bats.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot has been made of those torpedo bats. I'm not going to ask you about that, but people have been calling you Volpedo. In or out?
In. No, Victus is making the bats. Everyone can get them. It's definitely the only reason we're playing well, doing well, hitting any home runs.
Hey, in all seriousness, though, what do you attribute it to?
I think, like I said, I think just even going in through spring training, working on our strengths and taking advantage of mistakes and pitches we feel like we could drive. So it's everyone, and that's what's fun. It's hitting so contagious when everyone's putting together really good at-bats. It's easy to just go up there and be offensive and take it to the pitchers.
Before I let you go, Max Fried on the mound this afternoon. What's it like playing behind him?
It's amazing. He executes. You hear what he's trying to do. You know how, unfortunately, we've been on the receiving end of it last year, but yeah, at shortstop, it's amazing. He's either going to strike you out or you're going to get a ground ball. So it's been a fun games playing behind him, and it's a really good feeling going to bed the night before and then waking up and knowing he's starting for us.
Anthony, appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back to Pittsburgh, Michael Kay will be joined by John Flaherty. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. By PNC Bank, season start presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. By the New York Lottery, get out there and play. And by your local Kia dealers, visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Overcast, gray day here in Pittsburgh, but it looks like we'll be able to get this game in. Looks like a sellout crowd. Still filing into PNC Park, one of the great vistas in all of baseball. Just an absolute gem of a ballpark. And the Pirates have not lived up to the beauty of their ballpark. They have struggled. They've struggled out of the gate, starting off at 2-5. The Yankees are 4-2. This is the home opener for the Pirates. And the Yankees, after that big win yesterday against the Diamondbacks, have to feel good. going into that road trip, and now 3 games in Pittsburgh, 3 games in Detroit.
Yeah, and you would have to say we got lucky with the opening day weather here in Pittsburgh. When you looked out on the schedule, you thought it might be a little bit chillier, but you can see Mitch Keller going with no sleet, so it's a very comfortable day here in Pittsburgh.
Well, the Pirates take the field, and here's the Yankees starting lineup that Keller is going to face. The DH is Ben Rice. He's got off to a great start. The leadoff, right fielder Aaron Judge. Second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. Paul Goldschmidt at first base will clean up. Batting 5th and catching Austin Wells. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, will bat 6th. Batting 7th playing center field, Trent Grisham. Jason Dominguez in left field will hit 8th. And batting 9th and playing third base, it's Oswaldo Cabrera.
Well, that lineup for the New York Yankees going to face the veteran right-hander Mitch Keller. You see the numbers from last year, 31 starts, the ERA just over 4. We'll check out our Nissan pitcher scouting report on Keller. He's become Mr. Dependable around here. His last 3 seasons, he has started 29, 32, and 31 games. So takes the ball every 5th day. Had a little bit of trouble with the left-handed slug against him last year, 492 against Keller, but a good first impression in his first start. Picked up a win, 6 innings against the Marlins. Only gave up 1 run and struck out 4.
And celebrating his 29th birthday today. Here's the defense behind him. Pham in left, Cruz in center, McCutchen over right. All those outfielders have good arms. Hayes at third. He is one of the best third basemen in the game. Yankee fans remember Isaiah Canapalefa. He'll play shortstop. Jared Triolo at second, and Andy Rodriguez over first. Joey Bart is behind the plate. Brian Reynolds, the DH, and Mitch Keller is on the mound. Time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, the Yankees have been doing early damage, especially Aaron Judge. 5 home runs. 3 of those have been in the first inning. 22 home runs for the Yankees now. That's a major league record through the first 6 games. And the Bucks, they play a speed game. 19 stolen bases already. That leads the major leagues.
So Ben Rice will start it off. Rice is ready. Keller is ready. And let's do it here in Pittsburgh. First pitch, up and away, and we are underway. Tom Hanahan, home plate umpire. Chris Guccione at first. David Rackley at second. Edwin Moscoso is over at third. Rice has lived up to being a leadoff guy. He's reached a 9 of 19 plate appearances, a .474 on base percentage, .375 average, with 2 homers and 2 ribbies. A strike.
I'll give you a little scatter report on Mitch Keller. It's pretty much fastball at about 93, 94. We'll have a little movement away from the left-handed hitter Rice, and a good sweeper slider combination for Keller.
And there's a base hit for Rice to start it off. Cruz will get the ball in. Rice leads off the first with a single. See what we have in the home plate umpire, Tom Hanahan. Here's the scouting report. He is considered pitcher friendly. He calls more outside strikes on right-handed batters. Just his 3rd big league season. Here's Aaron Judge. This is his 1,000th game in his major league career today. 320 home runs in his career. He has 8 extra base hits in the 6 games, tied with A-Rod for the most, and A-Rod did that in 2007. Missed outside, 2-0. Players on the Yankees seem as if they're just marveling at what Judge is doing. How about this statistical quirk? So he has 5 homers, 15 ribbies, 11 runs scored in 6 games. He had those exact numbers, 5 homers, 15 ribbies, 11 runs last year in his 28th game. And he finished with 58 home runs. Away, away, away against Judge, 3-1.
Yeah, Michael, the difference is he's not only a slugger with the power, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He doesn't expand out of the strike zone. He's hitting well over 400 early on. And he's put himself in a great hitter's count here, 3-1.
Ball 4, so Judge reaches, and Keller in quick trouble. First and second, nobody out. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 60 degrees, and that's what it feels like. Chance of rain after 6 p.m. Humidity 61%. The wind out of the east at 4 miles per hour. And there's a lot of rain in the forecast tomorrow and Sunday as well. Pitch outside to Jazz Chisholm Jr.
I mentioned Keller has had trouble with left-handed hitters last year. They slugged .492. So a big opportunity here for Chisholm in the first inning. Left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher.
Grounded foul.
Well, we take a look back to last night. Jazz gets a fastball right down the middle. And you can tell by that reaction, that baseball went a long way. Another hot Yankee hitter to start off the season.
The 1-1. 2-1 on Chisholm.
Well, a lot of times a hitter will tell you how they're seeing the baseball early by their body language after they take a pitch. This looked like Jazz saw that ball so early out of Keller's hand. Missed off the plate. He didn't even flinch.
Two and two.
Good slider down and in, and the fastball count. And the one thing about Keller, he has a changeup, but it's really not one of his best weapons, and maybe a reason why he struggles against left-handed hitters.
Strike 3. Chisholm down looking, and he does not like the call.
Looked like Jazz definitely had an argument there. Looked like that ball was down. Aaron Boone giving the young home plate umpire Tom Hanahan an earful. That ball's down.
Hanahan let him have his say. Here's Goldschmidt.
It's not even close.
Pirates very familiar with Goldschmidt. He's played 132 games against Pittsburgh, and he's done well. 307, 407 on base percentage, 23 home runs, and 80 runs batted in. Paul is 0 for his last 8. Jazz still upset.
Well, this is where Goldschmidt's been such a good run producer during his career, hitting with 2 strikes, forcing the ball the other way.
Runners go. They didn't even look at the runners. Double steal for Rice and Judge.
Well, the scouting report on Hanahan behind the plate is you see both runners get good jumps, no play on the bases, but looks like this home plate umpire is going to be very generous off the plate and maybe down.
So 2 away is Goldschmidt down on strikes. Here's Wells, second and third. 2 men out. Wells had the day off yesterday. J.C. Escara caught and picked up his first big league hit, a double. 0-2.
Well, it's amazing how the momentum can change. A low strike on Jazz Chisholm. Now all of a sudden Mitch Keller trying to work his way out of trouble and had a little more hop on that fastball at 97.
Fouled away, still 0-2. John mentioned this in the scouting report. Keller takes the ball. 29 starts, 32 starts, 31 starts last 3 seasons. Second year of a 5-year, $77 million extension. Check swing, did he go? No, said Moscoso.
I talked about Keller having a good slider, sweeper combination. That was a curveball, and that's a good take from Austin Wells because he doesn't throw that curveball an awful lot.
Fly ball left field. Pham on the run toward the line. He's there to make the play. No runs ahead. 2 men left. Yankees nothing, and the Pirates coming to bat. Well, the Yankees don't score in the top of the first now. It's the Pirates' turn against Max Fried. Key Brian Hayes, Charlie Hayes' son. He's at third base leading off. Brian Reynolds, the DH, will bat second. O'Neill Cruz in center. Cleaning up the catcher, Joey Bart. The veteran, Andrew McCutchen. He's in right field batting fifth. Batting sixth, another veteran, the left fielder, Tommy Pham. Endy Rodriguez at first base will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing second base, Jared Triolo. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the shortstop, will bat ninth against Max Fried.
Well, Max Fried finishing up his warm-up tosses. Those are the numbers from last year. 29 starts, 11 and 10, 3.25 ERA. We'll take a look at our Nissan pitcher scouting report on Fried, and he got the first one out of the way. 4 2/3, gave up 6 runs. Only 2 of those were earned, but he had a little bit of trouble with the curveball in that ball game, which we know is his bread and butter off-speed pitch. He's a ground ball machine since 2017. Over 54% of his outs are on the ground.
So here's Hayes, and a strike.
Well, you know, it had to be frustrating for Max Fried. His first start as a Yankee in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees hit 9 home runs, but he couldn't find a way to get himself through 5 innings. And try to pick up his first Yankee win. He'll go for that this afternoon.
Yankee defense, Dominguez, Grisham, and Judge in the outfield left to right. We'll go third to first in the infield, Cabrera, Volpe, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt. Balls behind the plate, Rice DHs. Upstairs. Fried's made 7 starts against the Pirates, 3-1, but the ERA is a little high at 4.28. Now the Pirates come limping home. They had a 4-game set against the Marlins to open up the season in Miami, and they probably figured, oh, it's a good way to get off to a good start. They lost 3 of the 4 games, all 3 in walk-off fashion. Then they went to George Steinbrenner Field, and they lost 2 of 3 to Tampa Bay. So they come home at 2-5 to start the season. Check out the Mohegan Sun team scouting report.
Well, you just went through it, Michael. A tough start to the season. You just mentioned all those walk-off losses, and run production has been a problem. Only 19 runs in 7 games, batting average under 200. They do have some young stars and some veteran leadership. Paul Skeens, O'Neill Cruz, and the veterans to go with that, Andrew McCutchen, Tommy Pham. And I would say IKF, a veteran leader on this Pittsburgh club.
Driven into right field, Judge back, still back on the track, jumps, makes the play and falls to the ground but holds on. As Yankee Universe holds its breath.
Yeah, you hope that Aaron Judge is all right, and this is one of the dangers when you come to a park you're not familiar with. How much room do you have when that warning track starts until you get to the wall? Aaron Judge didn't think he had that much room before the wall. Looks like he's going to be all right. Leaps expecting to land into the wall, but has a little more room before it happened.
Here's Brian Reynolds. Grounded right to Chisholm, positioned perfectly. 2 outs. Well, the Pirates' losing ways, it's just startling. They've had 28 losing seasons in the last 32 years, since 1993. They've won from 2013 through 15 and 2018. Those are the only winning seasons. O'Neill Cruz with a fly ball. Grisham comes on, makes the play. And a fairly uneventful 1-2-3 inning for Max Fried and the Yanks. We'll go to the second. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. Aaron Boone checking things out with Aaron Judge, see if he's okay. You can see Judge kind of said, I'm fine, waved him away. As you said, John, I think he thought the wall was closer, so when he was tumbling back, he felt that would hold him up, and then he went to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously so familiar with Yankee Stadium and the amount of room from the warning track to the wall. You go on the road, it's a little bit different. Luckily, it looked like he came through it all right.
Anthony Volpe takes a strike. Anthony has 4 home runs and 8 runs batted in. This is what the Yankees are always afraid of. Judge in Dodger Stadium running through the wall. Really injured his toe, and it was a lost season for the Yankees once they lost him. Ground ball to second. Time for the injury report. We're brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. You'll notice Bellinger is not in the starting lineup. Has a stiff back. Currently listed as day-to-day, and Aaron Boone said he had a stiff back yesterday, but he didn't want to push it because of the late arrival by the Yankees last night, so it gives him the day off.
And Michael, he said nothing to worry about with Cody Bellinger. Bellinger was actually at his locker, and he was asked about it, and he said, no, just today. So he didn't seem overly concerned about anything.
It also makes it a lot easier, Meredith, when you got a guy like Trent Grisham, who's swung the bat great all spring and has carried it into the early first week of the season. So nice opportunity for Aaron Boone to give Bellinger an afternoon off.
And Aaron Boone saying he's trying to get Grisham more opportunities. He thought he would be able to find him more at bats last year. Never happened. But to start this season, he's been very good at the plate. He credits his aggressive approach. And Michael, when you look back to yesterday's game, 3 hits, including a home run for Grisham.
Grisham did not like that strike call by Hanahan. He was not making any friends with the Yankees. Just off the outside corner. 3-1 on Trent.
Well, it's always a challenge when you're an extra outfielder or a bench player, a guy like Grisham who has a great spring, and then you come into the season and the at-bats get taken away. But Aaron Boone trying to give him more opportunities. He's taking advantage of them.
And there's a walk to Grisham. 3rd Yankee base runner. 2nd walk. And that'll bring up Jason Dominguez. Fouled away. Dominguez hitting .250. A home run, a ribby. 4 for 12 against the Diamondbacks. Oh, 0-2. Told you the Yankees have 22 home runs. That's the record for 6 games in Major League history. In fact, it's the record for 7 games. So they don't even have to hit a home run today, and they still hold the record. Also, what's impressive is that 10 different players have hit home runs. And that's the most in Major League Baseball.
Well, they say that hitting is contagious, and obviously the way the Yankees have swung the bat early on with the power department, you feel good about them going on their first road trip, 3 in Pittsburgh, 3 in Detroit.
1-2 on Dominguez. Grisham leads off first, held there by Rodriguez. Two and two. Fouled away. Some of the fan base here in Pittsburgh, I really should say most of the fan base, pretty upset with the organization. They arguably have the greatest pitcher on the planet on their team. And if you look at the moves during the offseason, they really didn't do anything at all. Didn't spend any money to improve the team. And you know the clock is ticking on Paul Skeens, who the Yankees will not see this weekend. Will they be able to keep a pitcher of that elite status when he becomes a free agent? So essentially you have him for 6 years, John. You have to make it happen.
Yeah, you can feel the frustration around here for Pirates fans, and you know the whole city of Pittsburgh. It's such a great sports town.
Base hit down the right field line. It's going to roll onto the warning track, cut off there by McCutchen. Grisham is rounding third. They'll hold him up. It's a double for Dominguez. Second and third and one out.
Well, the Yankees had some traffic in the first inning, now some traffic here in the second, and a nice at-bat from Jason Dominguez, who fouled off a bunch of tough pitches, finally got something middle in that he can drive to right field. Grisham going to cruise all the way into third base easily. And you'd have to say a very solid start for Dominguez to his season. Hasn't lit it up yet. Batting average starting to look a little bit better, starting to fill up some columns.
Well, the Pirates bring the infield in with the second and third and one out. Oswaldo Cabrera at the plate. He's 0 for his last 7. Bard has to backhand the ball to save a run, and the count 1-0.
I'm going to talk about filling up some columns. No home runs, no RBIs yet for Cabrera, but a situation here, second and third, one down, just put the ball in play in the air. And fill up that RBI column, get the Yankees on the board.
That one is looped into left center field. It is going to get down in the base hit. 2 runs will score for the Yankees. Cabrera's going for 2, and he's in there with a 2-run double, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead.
Well, I always felt like these situational hitting at bats were just what the doctor ordered for somebody who's maybe going through a little tough stretch. Cabrera, exactly what he had to do. Get a ball up in the strike zone, get a ball up in the air, drive it the other way. Really good base running from Dominguez, who had a great read on this. You could see he takes one look, knows it's going to find some grass in left center field. Cruz can't come up with it cleanly, and Cabrera into second base.
First double and the first couple of ribbies for Cabrera. And that'll bring up Rice. Still one out. He goes around, tried to hold up, but didn't. One and one.
Well, you look at the way this lineup is constructed this afternoon from Aaron Boone. A lot of balance with the right-handers and the left-handers. You love the way they're driving the pitch count up from Keller early on in this one.
2-1.
You can see the frustration on the look of Keller as he misses with a changeup. Aaron Judge waiting on deck.
Three and one on Rice. Rice singled the center to open up the game.
Well, this is where you do your damage. You get yourself in a fastball count, 3-1. Look for that heater.
3-2. Keller gets the sign from Bart. And the payoff. Another foul ball. This is a chance for Ben Rice to grab some playing time with Stanton out, and he is impressed. You know, penciled in as the leadoff guy yesterday, and Boone was asked why. He said, because he rakes. Second straight game leading off. Reached in 10 of 20 plate appearances. That'll get it done. 3-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So he gets on base again. That'll bring up Judge. Leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. So in 1,000 career games, Judge has 320 home runs, more than anybody has ever done over 1,000 games. The previous record was held by Ryan Howard with 279. He's pretty good.
Now, I know how lucky we are to watch him every day, but when you see a graphic like that and the disparity in the numbers, it's not even close. And I watch Aaron Judge hit every day, and I try to figure out as an old catcher how I would try to attack him. But you can't get in on his hands anymore like you used to when he was a younger hitter. Loves the ball out over the plate and drives it to right center field. And this is where he makes his living. First and second, one down, runner in scoring position.
And the pitch. And a strike to Judge. Judge walked in the first inning and stole a base. His second stolen base of the year. Swings through. Good fastball. 0-2.
96 elevated up in the zone.
2 runs in, 2 runners on, 1 man out here in the second. Doesn't chase the sinker, low and away, and the count 1-2. Cabrera's at second, Rice is at first. Swing and a miss. Judge down on strikes. Big strikeout for Keller.
Well, you got to give Keller a little bit of credit. He came right at Aaron Judge with his best fastball of the afternoon and just challenged the Yankee captain.
Here's Jazz Chisholm. Struck out looking and didn't like the call. Rightfully so. It was well below the strike zone. That was in the first inning. Now it's 0-1 here in the second. Upstairs, 1-1. Well, there is definitive rain in the forecast at 6 p.m. And with the pace of this game right now, it's going to run smack dab in the middle of the game. And they've got to get these games in. The only time the Yankees and the Pirates meet each other this year. And tomorrow and Sunday, there's rain all day. Hopefully they'll be able to get the old window, as they say, John.
Yeah, the forecast does not look good. Rain the next couple of days, and then move on to Detroit, where it's going to be chilly.
And the 1-2. Popped up. Key Brian Hayes will make the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 2. We played 1.5, 2-0 Yanks. Hey, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's pictures of Ronnie, Ron, and Everett. They enjoyed Aaron Judge's performance during the first homestand. Why wouldn't they, right? Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Here is Joey Bart, former second pick in the first round by the Giants. Never really reached the heights that they thought he would give them. But he's actually played pretty well for the Pirates. Been a pretty good player.
Yeah, the Giants thought he would be the second coming to Buster Posey, but you're right, it's never worked out there. He had an opportunity here last year and swung the bat a whole lot better.
Casey Mize was the first pick in that draft, and Joey Bart the second. He's 28 years old.
This winter we did a hot stove show, and I don't know if you remember, our producer Mike Medvin said you had to come up with what you were looking forward to in the upcoming season, and I told everybody I was looking forward to seeing this ballpark.
Base hit for Bart, so did it live up?
It's beautiful. Great place to watch a game, beautiful stadium, and it opened, I think, in 2001. I had never been here before, my first time.
It is so aesthetically pleasing. I mean, the bridges, the river, the 25th home opener at PNC. They had played 30.5 seasons at Three Rivers and 61 seasons at Forbes Field. This is considered one of the jewels of Major League Baseball. They got it right. Now, they haven't gotten the team right, but they got the stadium right.
And guys, I don't know if you picked up on this 4:12 start time. Since 2022, the home opener is at 4:12. That is the area code here in Pittsburgh, so as to bring the community together a little bit.
Very cool. Now, when I got up here to the booth, I looked out to right field and wondering, I mean, it's almost like San Francisco where you can hit a ball in the river out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aaron Judge can go oppo into the river.
And that is the Allegheny. Two and one. McCutchen, 38 years old. This is 17th big league season. Last year at 37, he had 20 home runs and an OPS of 745. Has the same amount of home runs as Aaron Judge. A lot more games, 320 home runs. And there's a base hit.
Well, we talk all the time about Max Fried, how he gets soft contact on a lot of ground balls, but he's elevating some sinkers here in the second inning. McCutchen's been doing this for a long time, laying out some line drives.
There's another veteran, 37-year-old Tommy Pham, in his 12th big league season. Signed a one-year, $4 million deal with Pittsburgh in February. He said it's a younger team. Younger teams need more veterans. Had a wild year last year. Went from the White Sox to the Cardinals to the Royals. Worked his way from a 121-loss team to a playoff team with the Royals.
It's been a common theme in Tommy Pham's career. All clubs at the end of the year usually look for a veteran right-handed bat. Tommy Pham seems to be available. If you're Max Fried here, you're thinking one pitch, soft contact out on the ground, try to pick up a double play.
You know, Pham is known for somewhat of a prickly personality, but Game 2 of the 2023 World Series, he's playing for the Diamondbacks. He had 4 hits. They were blowing out the Rangers in that game. Had a chance to get the first 5-for-5 game in World Series history, but he told the manager, Torey Lovullo, to pinch hit the veteran Jace Peterson so he could get a World Series at bat. Grounded to Fried. One away. Runners move up. And here's Endy Rodriguez. He's the backup to Joey Bart behind the plate, playing first base today. Yankees play the infield back with second and third and 1 out.
A good first pitch curveball for a strike from Max Fried, and we talked about his first outing at Yankee Stadium. Kind of lost the feel for that curveball as that afternoon moved on. Second and third, 1 out, 0-2 count. You're looking for a strikeout here if you're Fried and Wells behind the plate. And a lot of different ways you can go. You can elevate a fastball. You can bounce a curveball. You do not have to throw a strike. I love that pitch right there. 96 up in the zone. You change the eye level of a young hitter. And it also sets up that 12-6 curveball down if you want to go to it.
2-2 to Endy. Second and third. 1 man out, 2-0 Yanks. Soft ground ball, third base. The runner goes back to third. The throw to first, they get him. Joey Bart did not break for home. He went back to third base, not thinking he could score.
Yeah, it's a tough read off the bat. Being a catcher, you don't run real well, but Cabrera comes in and makes a nice play. And you give Fried and Wells behind the plate a lot of credit getting soft contact again. Fried trying to work his way out of trouble. Just loved everything about the way these two went about calling a game there in that at-bat. You got ahead 0-2, you elevated a fastball, you bounced a curve, didn't get a swing and a miss, but you got some soft contact.
Falefa jumps on the first pitch and lofts it to center field. Grisham is there, and Fried works into and out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We're going to the third. 2-0 Yanks. Well, stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. We have a new left fielder taking over for Pham, and left is Alexander Canario. We'll see what happened with Pham. Here's Goldschmidt to start off the third. First pitch up and in, 1-0. Now, if you were keeping score at home, they have changed the double that Cabrera had in the second to a single. And he went to second on the E8. He still gets the 2 ribbies, but it's a single and not a double. High fly ball left field. Canario tested out right away. It's kind of an odd scoring change in a home ballpark. I mean, what did you do other than saddle your player with an error? Nothing else changed. Guy still gets 2 ribbies, still earned runs.
You know, Neil Cruz making that transition from shortstop out to center field. Guy who can really fly with power and a strong throwing arm.
Yeah, his defensive metrics at shortstop were not very good at all. So they want to take advantage of his arm and his athleticism and put him in center field, and kind of Falefa takes over at shortstop. Namesake of our very own Paul O'Neill. But with 1 fewer L.
How was Paul doing? He spent 6 days with him.
He was on the top of his game, really was. He was very happy when there was pizza. And
pizza?
Yeah. Ground ball to second. 2 away.
Well, this is what Keller's looking for, an easy 1-2-3 inning. Try to get that pitch count under control a little bit more. That's 63 pitches already. The bullpen will be a factor for the Pirates. 4 left-handed pitchers in that bullpen for Pittsburgh.
And that got Volpe, and he's going to take first base. Fortunately for him, he got grazed, didn't get hit flush. Well, flush enough.
Yeah. I mentioned Keller, and his fastball does have a little movement in on righties, away to lefties, but not locked in with his control this afternoon. Looks like Volpe's uncomfortable.
So Rodriguez will hold him on, and that brings up Grisham, who walked and scored in the second. Up the middle, and right there is IKF. He boots the ball, and that allows Grisham to reach. They had him positioned perfectly, but he did not come up with the grounder.
Yeah, but again, Trent Grisham right on time, hitting the ball hard, right back up the middle. Good swing, solid contact. Looked like IKF was there in good shape to stay him up.
Scored a single, not an E6. How about that? Here's Dominguez, doubled his last time up.
Well, this has become a trait that the Yankee fans will be happy about their lineup. It creates a lot of traffic. First and second, 2 down. You have base runners all over the place the first 3 innings in this one.
That one, a broken bat, looper into left field. It is a base hit. Volpe rounds third. He will score. The ball is booted by Canario. Moving to third is Grisham. It's an RBI single for Dominguez. And the Yankees lead at 3-0, and the Pirates are hearing home opener boos.
Just when Keller thought he was going to have an easy third inning, a hit by pitch, a base hit, and now a broken bat flare to left field. That's going to result in a base hit, second one for Dominguez, and an RBI as the Yankees add on. The Pirates a little sloppy defensively.
Crowd with a chant of sell the team. Third inning of the home opener.
Opening day.
You knew they were loaded for bear, John, because obviously home openers, the entire team gets introduced. And Derek Shelton, the manager of the Pirates, in his 6th year at the helm, he got booed vociferously, louder than anybody.
Welcome home.
Also, he didn't put the team together.
I don't know if you saw before the game, too. They had a plane flying around with the banner saying, sell the team.
Runner goes, but a foul ball. Speaking of aircraft, they had a rendition of God Bless America and the national anthem, and they had a flyover with military helicopters, and that's about as close to the ballpark. I mean, John and I looked at each other like, is this supposed to be happening?
Right in the booth.
Yeah. So Dominguez with that single picks up the second ribby of the year, second hit of the game. Yankees lead 3-0. First and third, 2 men out. Popped up, shallow left again. Canario coming on. It's a foul ball.
Well, Canario takes over for Tommy Pham, and he gets tested right away in the third inning, covering a lot of ground just out of his reach.
You're relaxing on the bench, watching the game, and all of a sudden you're in there, and there's an E7 and a long run, and you don't get to the ball. That's a base hit through the left side of the infield. Dominguez will go to third. A run scores. It's an RBI single for Cabrera, his third ribby of the game. Then it's a 4-0 Yankee lead.
Well, Keller has to be thinking to himself, what's going on here in the third inning? A couple of quick outs and then some soft contact. First from Dominguez, now from Cabrera. Just flips it into left field. Another 2-out hit, another RBI. And 8 and 9 in the lineup for the Yankees, getting it done.
Here's Ben Rice. Wonder if you noticed, John, the Yankees have been going first to third a lot, but Dominguez, just his body type does not tell you that he's fast. He is really fast.
He moves.
And he gets good reads, too.
I was just going to bring that up. Scoring on that Cabrera hit earlier in the game, had a great read. And those are good baseball instincts for a young prospect. Things you can't really teach. Good jump, trying to steal a bag with 2 outs, and then reads it into left field, and the ability to kick it into another gear.
Three and one. Ben Rice singled and walked. Third inning. This is the third time he's come to the plate.
And Keller's has been walking a tightrope the whole afternoon. 3-1 count again.
Big cut. 3-2. So that's going to release Cabrera at first. 3-2 and 2 outs. And the payoff. Grounded to first, grabbed by Rodriguez, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. Here's those helicopters we talked about. Right about this time, John and I started to duck. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at PNC. IKF leads off. And the first pitch is a ball from Fried. Yankees to give him a 4-0 lead. He certainly had offensive support in his first start, 9 home runs. One and one.
I always love listening to starting pitchers break down their outing after the game with Meredith. Garrett Cole is like must-listen interview after his games, but I thoroughly enjoyed Max Fried after his first Yankee start, the way he broke it down with the media. Wasn't able to get through 5 innings and said, I didn't deserve the opportunity to go 5. I didn't pitch well enough to do it. 94 pitches, elevated my pitch count, and had no problem being taken out of that game. I think his post-game interviews with Meredith and the media are going to be must listen.
2-2. Meredith, I don't know if you can get a better promo than that. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I had to pay him to say that, Michael. I don't know if you know that. No. Thank you. You know, I think to your point, in that one, he was so irritated by the play he didn't make at first base. It was kind of beating him up a little bit, and he just kind of kept reiterating that. Also, the 2 walks he was not pleased with. But also the defense behind him at times was not quite there. Clearly the run support helped, though, and he said, if I get this run support every time, we're going to have a good year. But, Michael, we talked about it the next day. The thing that he wants everybody to know is he doesn't care about the win. Sure, he'd like to get the win. He's happy the team got the win. He's not worried about those personal accomplishments or accolades. He's just looking forward to a good season as a Yankee.
Fly ball, right center. Grisham drifts over. Let's take a look at his arsenal from his last start on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Yeah, the 94 pitches, 36 four-seamers, sinker, changeup, sweeper, curveball, slider, cutter. It's a lot to handle.
As a catcher, would it be tough to call a game because the guy has so many pitches?
It would. I mean, you'd have to get out to the bullpen, warm him up, see what he has going that day, and then try to get on the same page during the game between the lines, which sometimes isn't the easiest thing to do. Yeah, that registered as a 4-seam fastball, but it looks to me like it has a little bit of cut in on the hands of the right-handed hitters. These 2 guys work together in spring training, but still trying to get familiar with each other and what he wants to do when he gets himself into some trouble.
Three 3-0 on Key Brian Hayes. Key Bryant in the middle of an 8-year, $70 million contract that he signed. 4th season of that contract. It was the largest extension in team history until Brian Reynolds signed an 8-year, $106.75 million contract. And that was last year.
Hayes, the son of Charlie Hayes, an outstanding defender, but waiting for that bat to catch up. Trying to stay healthy for a full year and have a productive season.
That one is cracked to left field. Going back, Dominguez, and he makes the play. A lot of room out there in left center field here at PNC.
Good job by Max Fried getting back into the count, getting some contact with a 4-run lead. Last thing you want to do is start issuing some walks. Force contact, take your chances.
Here's Reynolds. You know, I was looking up Reynolds' pertinent statistics, and obviously they made a pretty big investment in him. He was always looked for in trade talks with the Pirates, and they held on to him. And he has really turned into a bad defensive left fielder. I mean, all of the metrics are just dreadful. This one deep to left field. Dominguez back, still back. Gone, a home run for Reynolds. But he can hit.
He can hit. They say the solo shots will not beat you. You have a 4-run lead, a get-me-over curveball, and Reynolds was all over it.
Here is O'Neill Cruz. One and 0. He goes around, tried to check his swing, 1-1.
Take a look from the side.
One and 2. O'Neill started at shortstop last year, made 24 errors, and then they transitioned him to center field. He has a great arm. Average throws are 99 miles an hour. Great speed. 26 years old. 6 for 6 already this season in stolen bases. Three and 2. Be interesting if he gets on, because Fried has a great move and O'Neill wants to run.
We see the rankings last year: bat speed, exit velo, arm strength.
Well, he walks him. So now an interesting cat and mouse game, as Goldschmidt will hold them on.
Well, the Pirates definitely play that speed game. 19 stolen bases this year already. That leads the major leagues. It'll be a challenge for Fried and Wells behind the plate, with the Cruz at first.
Meeting at the mound, the whole infield out there. And the players handled it themselves. Matt Blake did not come out. Just gave Fried a little bit of a breather after the home run by Reynolds and the walk to Cruz. And the runner goes. The throw to second. He's 7 for 7 in stolen bases. Took off on the first pitch.
Yeah, gets a decent jump, just outruns the baseball. Wells, an accurate throw. Just too much speed there for O'Neal Cruz. 7 for 7 in the early season. You can't forget about him at second base either.
Leads the majors in stolen bases with those 7. Now in scoring position for Bart, who singled in the second. Big cut. Right through the fastball, 96 miles an hour.
It's a fine line right here for Max Fried. You have a 3-run lead, runner at second, but you have Joey Bart, who has some power. You really want to concentrate on the hitter here. Pay attention to Cruz at second, but don't overdo it.
.51 pitches for Fried. 2 outs into the third. Throw to second. Gets back in time. Saw daylight and fired to Chisholm, but Cruz got back.
Yep, took an opportunity. But again, the focus really needs to be on Joey Bart here. 1-2 count, try to put him away.
It's like the old days when there wasn't a pitch clock.
Wow.
Grounded foul. Bart, the cleanup hitter. Swing and a miss. Fried gets him, and that'll do it. But the home run by Reynolds, well, it gets the Pirates on the board. Aaron Judge coming up in the next inning. Don't go anywhere. Well, tomorrow afternoon right here on Yes, the Yankees and the Pirates play the second game of the series here in Pittsburgh. Coverage will begin at 3 with Audi batting practice and then the pregame. Then first pitch will be just after 4 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees lead 4-1. Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm, and Paul Goldschmidt will come up against Mitch Keller here in the 4th inning. Judge has walked, stole a base, and struck out. Yankees have 6 hits. Pirates have 3 hits, but 2 errors. The Yankees have also left 6 runners on base over the first 3 innings. They really had an opportunity to blow this one out. But it's 4-1 as we go to the 4th. Some equipment problem for Bart, who ended the inning at the plate, so had to hurry to get the shin guards on. Now we're good. Big cut on the slider, 0-1.
Let's think back to Aaron Judge's last at bat. Keller came right at him with some good fastballs. Aaron Judge looking for that first pitch. He got a slider.
So Judge has 5 home runs. Chisholm has 4. Volpe has 4. It's the first trio of teammates in Major League history with 4 or more home runs through the team's first 6 games. First time in history. They sit atop the leaderboard in the American League, the 3 of them. And Judge is down looking.
You can see not much of an argument there from Aaron Judge, and you look at where this pitch is located. Bart does a good job bringing it back to the strike zone, gets a call.
Ground ball second base to the glove side, Triolo. 2 down. Hexclad cooking up something special. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Active Major League players, home runs against the Pirates. There's Suarez, who the Yankees just saw with 26, and Goldschmidt with 23. Lined and a base hit for Goldschmidt. That breaks an 0 for 10 slide for Paul. A 2-out single here in the 4th.
Well, it's been a common theme early on this year and in today's game. Yankees just do not go down quietly. 2-out hitting, broken bat, line drive into left field.
Goldschmidt has speed. Leads off first. Wells at the plate. And a strike. Wells 0 for 2. Fly ball to left. Ground ball to second. Keller already at 86 pitches. 2 outs into the 4th. And not clipped. Wells on the way by. Second hit batter. Volpe and now Wells. And they want to look at that one, the Pirates do.
You can see Austin reacts pretty much immediately like it clipped his hand.
Pittsburgh is challenging the call of hit by pitch.
Challenge replay is brought to you by Citizens Made Ready. Well, there's not enough there to overturn anything. And also, I mean, Wells might be the greatest actor of all time. He keeps looking at his hand.
You can't act that quickly either. It definitely got that hand, the right hand.
You can hear the two sounds.
And it was a hit by pitch. Runner will take first base. Pittsburgh is out of challenges.
I mean, you really wonder why you would make that challenge in the 4th inning. You've just lost your challenge, and there was nothing that you saw in that replay that would tell you that he didn't get hit. It's a bad challenge.
Bad challenge. You look at the video, evidence is there, but I go with Austin Wells, and his reaction immediately began shaking that hand.
There's Anthony Volpe. He was hit in the 3rd inning. Later came around to score. And a strike from Keller.
Michael, you mentioned this earlier. It feels like the Yankees have had opportunities just to blow this game wide open. And Keller with that pitch count getting up there close to 90. He's one big swing away from his afternoon being over.
0-2 on Volpe.
There's a lot of times during a big league at bat, as you see the action in the Pittsburgh Pirate bullpen. Wentz, the left-hander. During a big league at bat, you always say you're going to get one pitch to hit, and Anthony Volpe just had a hanging slider that he fouled off. Now he's in trouble. You got to battle with 2 strikes.
Goldschmidt at second. Wells is at first. 2 men out. Yankees lead 4-1. We're in the 4th. Up the middle, off of Keller, and it goes into center field for base hit. Goldschmidt will score, stopping at second as Wells. It's an RBI single for Volpe, and the Yankees are up 5-1. 4-game hitting streak for Anthony Volpe.
They just keep applying pressure, creating traffic. Again, 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning, and the Yankees with a 2-out hit from Goldschmidt, hit by pitch of Wells, and Anthony Volpe doing a nice job hitting with 2 strikes, hard right back up the middle.
It's the 9th ribby for Volpe. There's Trent Grisham. 1-0. On Grisham. Walked in an infield single. Has 2 runs scored already. Two and 1. Yankees 5, Pirates 1. First game of this 3-game set. First game of a 6-game homestand for the Yanks. 3 in Pittsburgh, and then 3 against the Tigers in Detroit. Keller deals. Fouls out the changeup. 95 pitches for Mitch Keller. He is not having, at this point, the happiest of birthdays. He's 29 years old today. And the pitch. 3-2. Just get the word that Tommy Pham left the game today because of illness. Runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs. Pitch. And the bases are loaded with the Yankees. All of this has happened with 2 outs. And Grisham on base for the 3rd time. And here comes Derek Shelton. He has seen enough. He'll signal for the left-hander Joey Wentz. With the switch hitter Jason Dominguez due up. So Mitch Keller, a real strong first start of the season, and he has struggled right from the very beginning in this one. He'll depart. He leaves the bases loaded, and he leaves trailing by 4. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. By Mohegan Sun, something's always happening at Mohegan. And by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. some of the greats that have played for the Pirates and the Yanks. Joey Wentz inherits a sweaty situation here. Yankees have the bases loaded with 2 men out. The 4th game for Wentz. And he'll face Jason Dominguez. Dominguez 2 for 2, batting now from the right side. You know what always gets me? We just saw those old pictures, and the first one was of Babe Ruth and Honus Wagner. And if you looked at Honus Wagner, I think he was 32 in that picture. People age differently now.
Honus wasn't doing the cold plunge. And
no, I don't think so.
The organic food.
I mean, that's 32 right there. And Babe didn't exactly look like a youngster either.
Saw Ralph Kiner there too. Kiner's corner back in the day.
That's right. And another Yankee gets hit. That'll force in a run. Wells will score. Dominguez picks up another RBI, and the Yankees are now up 6-1.
And you mentioned it, all of this happening with 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning. Wentz trying to come inside. This clips Jason Dominguez, that left elbow.
So here's Cabrera batting from the right side against the lefty Wentz. John, I got to tell you, I don't think this game for the Pirates is going to end up in any Tom Amansky video.
No. Baseball fundamental video? No. All those,
not even close.
Those Pirate fans that were frustrated even before the first pitch. Now the home opener. 6 runs in already. Cabrera looking to have a big afternoon. Already 2 for 2. 3 RBIs.
And a strike from Wentz. And a derisive cheer from the crowd. Three and one pitch away from forcing in another run. And there's a strike, a late strike call by Hanahan. Cabrera was taking a step toward first base.
Well, this is true to the scouting report that we looked at from Hanahan early on. He'll give you some pitches off the plate away. Clearly off the plate away.
Runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs. There's ball 4. 4 ribbies for Oswaldo Cabrera. And the Yankees lead 7-1. Well, this will be the 9th Yankee to come to the plate. Again, a chant of sell the team. Grisham at third, Dominguez at second, Cabrera at first. It's quite a rally, John. A single left. Hit by pitch, a single that hit the pitcher and an RBI, walk, hit by pitch, walk. All with 2 outs. Driven to right field, McCutchen back, and he makes the play on the run. Probably took 3 RBIs away from Ben Rice with that play. Yankees get 3 runs, they lead 3. 7-1. Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard. Yankees up 7-1, bottom of the 4th inning here in Pittsburgh. Home opener for the Pirates, first game of a 3-game set. Here's Andrew McCutchen, the veteran. Just made a nice running play to rob Ben Rice of an extra base hit. And Max Fried deals a little bit outside and high. 1-0. Once again, Max Fried getting a lot of offensive support, and he has not been Max Fried sharp in the first 2 games. Done just enough to obviously be somewhat effective, but certainly not as sharp as he could be.
Yeah, both games very similar in the fact that he spent a lot of time in the dugout waiting to get back out on the mound.
Line to left field. That is off the glove of Dominguez for a base hit. So McCutchen 2 for 2.
A couple of hard hit line drives to left field. Aaron Boone and the rest of the coaching staff going to be evaluating Jason Dominguez out in left field. Can't come up with it clean, keeps it in front.
Here's Alexander Canario.
Again, I think back to that post-game interview from Max Fried after his first appearance as a Yankee. Said, I couldn't really get in a rhythm. You kind of get the same feeling today in Pittsburgh. Yankees putting up 7. A lot of long offensive innings, a lot of time in the dugout.
Now, a lot of the ballparks have mounds behind the dugout. How long would an inning have to go before a pitcher would go say, I better throw some?
Yeah, I would say it's probably pretty unusual because you don't know how the rest of it's going to play out with pitch count and all of that. But, I mean, you could get on a bike. You could maybe toss a few. Oh, there we go.
Canario down on strikes.
There's that curveball that we've been waiting for. Big swing and miss pitch from Max Fried. Great diving action down and in on the righty.
One and 0 on Endy. It was a good change. Big cut, 1 and 2. Rodriguez grounded to third. That was in the second. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 7-1 Yankees. And the Yankees have put a 7 spot on the board without a home run today. McCutchen dives back. Strike 3. Rodriguez down looking. Hey, son, to Name That Yankee brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. All right, so all the years of the Yankees, 57 to 65, 266, 1,109 hits, 373 ribbies, 4 All-Stars. The connection to this game is he played in the World Series Yankees against Pittsburgh in 1960. Grounded foul.
It seems like a very different name, that Yankee. Only one team. Numbers aren't unbelievable.
Well, you've heard the rumors, right? The guys who put it together have given up.
They're just mailing it in already?
Yeah, early mail. It's really strange, yeah.
Usually they mail it in the second half of the year.
Well, Wells thought that was strike 3. Took a step toward the Yankee dugout, but it was not.
Wouldn't exactly say it was the best catch that Austin Wells has had.
That has to have an effect. I mean, he just caught it awkwardly.
No doubt. You know, the position has changed so much over the years. It's about presenting the ball in the strike zone and not kind of catching it cleanly anymore.
Ground ball. Cabrera gets Triolo for the final out. No runs a hit. One man left. Let's move to the 5th. Hey, it's time for PNC Bank slow moments.
Well, we take a look back earlier in the game. Aaron Judge makes that awkward catch in front of the wall in right field, and then Andrew McCutchen, 38-year-old outfielder, an outstanding defensive play to rob Ben Rice.
And there's a strike to Aaron Judge. No contact day for him. 0 for 2 with a walk. The 2 are strikeouts. Judge, Chisholm, Goldschmidt against Joey Wentz, who came in to get Keller out of a jam, but added some fire himself. A hit by pitch and a walk, allowing 2 more runs. Checks the swing, the count 1-2. Ground ball to third. Key Brian Hayes. So I want to know the legitimacy of this, John. So Yankees played a night game yesterday. They arrived here very late, probably got to bed, maybe fell asleep by 3 or 4. So how much does it affect a player the next day?
This early in the year, probably not that much. You know, I think Aaron Boone said, yeah, everybody probably would have wanted another hour or 2 of sleep. And you hear Aaron talk about this all the time. Players want to get into the grind of a season. And what that means is 6 night games a week and maybe 1 day game, and you get on that kind of daily routine. This throws you off with a night game last night, a 4 o'clock start. Just a lot different timing with some of these opening days. Put it this way, I think they're going to sleep well tonight after an early game, a nice dinner, good night's sleep. Be ready to go tomorrow afternoon again.
Fly ball center field. Cruz makes the play. 2 down.
Always found at the beginning of the year, though, you just wanted to get past the opening day at home. Usually you're going to do an opener maybe on somebody's road game, which is happening today in Pittsburgh, and you just kind of want to get past all of that and get into the flow of a season.
Here's Goldschmidt. Started the Yankees rally in the 4th with 2 outs, single to left. And a strike. And another base hit for the veteran. So he's 2 for 4. Another 2-out single.
Again, the Yankees are going to make you earn it. 27 outs. You're going to have to get all of them. They're not going to give away any at-bats. Paul Goldschmidt gets ready to hit so early. Gets that front foot down, the hands back. And all he has to do is recognize the baseball and lay out a line drive.
Here's Wells. It was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, and the Pirates challenged that call, and they did not win the challenge, so they don't have any challenges left.
Well, Austin Wells just fouled one off of Joey Bart, catcher for the Pirates, and Austin's been beat up behind the plate early on this year. A lot of foul tips. Hit by a pitch in the 4th.
Big cut, 0-2. We're in the 5th inning. It's 7-1. Yankees have 9 hits. Pirates 4. And the Pirates have committed 2 errors. It is coming up on 6 o'clock, which was the predicted time for the start of rain, and it is still not an official game. Two and two. Crowd very quiet. Check the swing. Ground ball foul, grabbed there by Rodriguez. Runner goes. Foul ball. Wells 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored today. Strike 3. Wells down looking. He thought that was ball 4. And he is looking at Hanahan in disbelief. The Yankees have not loved Hanahan one bit today. Hey, tonight on Yes, catch the best of Talking Yanks, John Boy Media Podcast with the top talking points from this week in Yankees universe. Watch it tonight after the postgame on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Max Fried will face 9-1-2 in the Pirates order. So one thing that IKF did during the offseason, he did track and field drills, saying he wanted to get explosiveness back in his running. And so far it's worked. He's 4 for 4 in stolen bases. That's more than he had in 83 games with the Blue Jays last year. He's still just 30 years old, 8th big league season. Tap, and under the glove of Fried, here comes Chisholm, and under the hand of Chisholm, it'll be a base hit for Kiner-Falefa.
Well, you're going to see a lot of this year when Max Fried is out on the mound. He gets soft contact. There's going to be a lot of infield base hits. Tough play for Chisholm coming in. Can't come up with a clean.
And here is Ke'Bryan Hayes. And a strike to the Pirates' third baseman.
You know, Michael, whenever I see IKF, Kiner-Falefa, I always think back to his Yankee time when he struggled at shortstop, was not a fan favorite, then came back the next year and said, I just want to find any way I can make this team, anything I can do to help, and totally changed how he will be remembered as a Yankee. Yankee fans loved him after he made that transition.
Total class act.
Yep.
The way he handled everything. And Ke'Bryan Hayes gets hit. Or did he?
I didn't see anything there.
Smart play by Wells, firing to first as IKF was taken off for the second. They have 2 Pirates standing on first base.
Yeah, got the back foot.
Well, they're bringing him back, and the Pirates ill-advisedly use their challenge. They don't have one. So 2-1. Hayes is brilliant at third base. He won a Gold Glove in 2023. Closer look to see if he did get hit. Oh, he did.
Got him. Definitely got him.
Fly ball. Grisham makes the play. Tagging is IKF. He goes halfway. You got to be careful when you're down by 6. That'll bring up Brian Reynolds.
His last at bat got a get-me-over curveball and he's all over it. Depositing it in the seats in left field. And if you're Max Fried out on the mound now coming up on 80 pitches, you know you're 2 outs away to put yourself in line for your first Yankee win.
Now Reynolds has been battling right tricep soreness. Kind of relegated him to DH today for the 4th straight game. 5 out of the 8 games as a DH. But we also mentioned his struggles in the outfield. Last year in the outfield, he had a -13 outs above average. That's the last spot of any outfielder in Major League Baseball. And there's a big outfield in left field. They got him. Little rundown. The tag is made by Fried, who has a brilliant pickoff move.
That's not going to make the fans here in Pittsburgh any happier with the way the afternoon is going when you're down by 6 and you get picked off. You mentioned a good move, hanging his right leg, then delivering the ball to first. Frustrated fan base.
It's been a tough go here in Pittsburgh. We mentioned earlier 28 losing seasons in the last 32 years. And although it's a smaller market, John, it's been proven you can win in these sorts of markets. Tampa Bay is a contender every single year, and that's a much smaller market. Cleveland. Last 5 years have not been pretty under Derek Shelton. Last year, last place in the Central. Swing and a miss. Reynolds down on strikes. An official game, no runs a hit, nobody left. We go to the 6th.
Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Red Sox home opener today against the Cardinals. That's Trevor Story, 3-run shot in the first. Red Sox up 4-0. The next batter, Wilyer Abreu. 2 of their home runs, 2 of their 16 hits on a day in which Boston wins their home opener 13-9. 16 runs the last 2 games, more their first 6 games, guys. Could I get...
Thank you, Bob. We go around the majors. Freddie Freeman placed on the 10-day IL, a right ankle injury. He slipped in the shower. The Reds have lost 3 straight 1-0 games. First major league team since 1960 to do that. And Gunnar Henderson activated off the 10-day IL, right intercostal sprain. Slipping in the shower. I mean, I can imagine, you know, he has to go to Dave Roberts and tell him that. You hear some strange injuries out there. Remember the guy who got injured because he was ironing his shirt while he was wearing it?
How about, what was it, Sammy Sosa that hurt himself sneezing and like blew out a rib or something?
I think it might be. There have been people that were injured walking in their sleep, walking into a wall in a hotel. Have you ever slipped in a shower, John?
No, but I've walked into the wall of a hotel, but I wasn't sleeping when it happened.
Well, we've got time if you want to tell the whole story.
No, it's okay. We'll just leave that one there. You created quite a stir with this torpedo bat thing, though, didn't you?
But it also created quite a nickname that Meredith got the cosign on Volpe from, right?
So people on the internet were talking about it, shockingly. Heard the nickname Volpedo. So I asked him about it. Flash, you heard at the beginning of the game. So what do you think? He said, it's good. I'm in. I didn't think he was going to be into it.
Oh, yeah, he was into it. Then he gave a little plug for the bat company. And now he gets a base hit.
Now, the one thing that whole conversation got me thinking was it's amazing now that in the modern age of this game, you can determine if a hitter gets jammed more or hits the baseball off the end of the bat a little bit more, as we see Volpe hitting it right on the barrel going the other way. And I never really thought, like, as a player, did I get jammed more or hit the ball off the end of the bat? I would have no idea.
Well, the specific part of this is that it's not like you could go to a sporting goods store and say, give me a torpedo bat. If you're going to do it the right way, which the Yankees are doing it, their analytics team analyze every ball that's hit by every player and where that ball is placed on the bat. And that's where they move that more bloated part of the wood.
Yeah, it's amazing, because when I came up, you pretty much had a couple of choices of style of bat. A C271, which I used, was more balanced. A P72, which Derek Jeter used, was a little more top heavy. But just the amount of information now is amazing.
And guys, Greg Joyce, who writes for the New York Post, had an article out about a day after all that stuff came out, and he said his bat company got about 80 to 100 calls from big leaguers in the first 48 hours after that was mentioned, wanting to know more about these bats. But to your point, Michael, you can't just order anyone and have it fit you the right way. Or benefit you the right way, I should say.
Runner was going all the way. Bottom of the order's done the job today. 7 through 9, 5 for 5, a double, 6 ribbies, 3 walks. You know, we could get the brilliant guys and gals in the Yankee analytic crew to work out analytics of what walls would give you the most trouble in hotels.
It's more of a time of day thing than angles of walls.
Runner goes, and the pickoff, the throw to second. Got him as Anthony kind of rolls into Triolo. No, that was IKF who took the throw.
Another good pickoff move and a nice play by Rodriguez, creating a throwing lane to get the baseball to IKF as Anthony Volpe goes rolling in.
Two and 2 on Grisham. And that knocked the mask off of Bart.
He's gotten clipped a couple of times this afternoon.
Couldn't hold up. He goes around.
A little elevation on the fastball. Couldn't hold up.
Is it me, John, or do you get the sense that the pitch clock's not working today?
Today it's on a delay.
Wow, and they must be starting it late.
Dominguez 2 for 2, a double, a single. These are the at-bats the Yankees want to see him get a little bit better from the right side. Not a whole lot of experience hitting right-handed.
1-1. Dominguez 2 for 2. Couple of ribbies, hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and a run scored. One and 2. And again,
Joey Bart saying, I've had enough.
You don't miss that.
Not at all.
It really does take a special kind of tough. The amount of physical abuse that a catcher takes. Did he go? Yes, he did. Dominguez down on strikes. No runs a hit, and nobody left. Well, this drone's going to help you out. They're going to go right into this hotel. They're going to tell you where the walls are, and all accidents will be avoided. Bottom of the 6th inning, Monitor Einstein. Yankees lead 7-1. O'Neill Cruz leads off against Max Fried. Takes the first pitch strike. Cruz 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Curveball that just misses inside. Yankees in the middle of a stretch of 9 straight games and 22 out of 23. And that's a little unusual for the first month of the season. There's a lot of built-in off days, but not the case. Two and two.
Watching Max Fried this afternoon attacking the left-handed hitters. He has a lot of back and forth with that two-seamer in on the hands of a lefty that moves a guy like Cruz off the plate. Then he comes back away with a sweeper.
And he gets him on the curve.
Then he has the curveball to finish him off. So if you're a left-handed hitter, you can't just look out over the plate because he throws a two-seamer in. Then he can finish it with a curveball.
Here's Joey Bart, 1 for 2. And a strike. Between innings, the dreaded sight of the head groundskeeper talking with the umpires and showing them an iPad. I don't think they're playing Roblox. They're probably looking at the incoming rain. Ten and 12-year-old.
I was going to say roadblocks, too.
Roblox.
Roblox.
R-O-B-L-O-X. Big.
Big in the K household.
Big in every kid's household. 2 and 2. So your kids are older. You have no idea, right?
I have no idea. It's a different set of problems when they get older.
Oh,
different set of games.
I can imagine. Strike 3. Bart down looking. Hey, the 6th Yankee strikeout is brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local tri-state Audi dealer today.
Well, the first outing for Fried, the curveball was a struggle, but he's starting to pick up the pace now with that 12-6 hammer.
There's McCutchen, who was singled twice against Fried. 17th season in the big and 12th in Pittsburgh for McCutchen. Former MVP. And he said he's going to keep playing until he embarrasses himself. He said, I don't think I am. He said, I'm going to keep rolling out there.
Well, he's not embarrassing himself this afternoon. 2 line drives, a great play in right field to rob Ben Rice.
Obviously very, very popular here in Pittsburgh from the great years that he had. And you see the resume. He won the MVP in 2013. Top 5 in MVP voting 4 straight seasons. And a 5-time All-Star. Two and 2. And the pitch. Dribbled slowly to third. Cabrera tried to barehand, but couldn't come up with it. A base hit for McCutchen. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Cabrera went for the bare hand as quickly as he did. I thought he might come in and try to glove it and get rid of it quickly. Couldn't come up with a clean. And even at 38 years old, McCutchen can still get down the line, put a little pressure on you.
And that's going to do it for Fried. Boone will take the baseball. 5 2/3. He's eligible to get his first Yankee win. Yankees hockey jersey night is back for 2025. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 25th when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees hockey jersey courtesy of DKNY. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Fernando Cruz, he was brilliant his last time out. 6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts. And he will face Canario with 2 outs and a runner on. 1-0. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 98 pitches for Fried. One and one. Yankees up by 6, bottom of the 6th.
Oh, there's that splitter for Cruz, the big swing and miss pitch.
Two and two.
The beginning of the year is always a feeling out process for guys coming out of the bullpen. Somebody like Cruz has to prove he can pound the strike zone, become a reliable mid to late inning guy.
Swing and a miss. Gets him on that splitter. So Yankee pitchers strike out 3 in the 6th. Well, fans, the Yes app has moved to the Gotham Sports app, your new home for streaming live Yankees, Nets, and more, free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app username and password, or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Tim Meza takes over. Former Yankee, 3rd game this year for him. And Cabrera swings and misses.
He said they were going to have one of those days. Joey Bart getting beat up. But he's like, you know what? Let's just keep going. Meza last pitched on Monday, an inning and 2/3 against the Rays.
Yankees have 10 hits. Pittsburgh with 6. Yankees lead 7-1. There's a base hit to right field. Cutting over is McCutchen. Cuts it off in the gap. And Cabrera will stop at first with a single. That's his 3rd hit of the day.
Well, switch hitting right-handed against the lefty. Just stays inside, drives it the other way. Having a day hitting in that number 9 spot in the lineup.
Here's Ben Rice, 1 for 3 with a walk. And a strike.
Well, one of the things we've seen from Ben Rice in his young major league career, hitting left-handed pitching does not seem to faze him at all. He hangs in there, drives the ball the other way.
Meza, 15 games with the Yankees last year, posted a 4.0 ERA. They got him in July after he was released by the Blue Jays, and he made an appearance in each postseason round for the Yankees as well. Signed a 1-year, $1.15 million deal with the Pirates. That was in February. And he's part of Yankee lore He served up Aaron Judge's 61st home run on September 28th of 2022. Ground ball left side. Hayes fires to first, not in time. Hayes took it himself, did not flip to Triolo. Thought he had a better chance to do it that way, but Rice can run.
Yeah, interesting choice here. Just continued on to second base, thinking he can make the pivot and complete the double play. Rice gets down the line too well. Again, hanging in there against the lefty, trying to drive it the other way.
There's Aaron Judge. High fly ball, right center field. That ball is gone. A two-run home run for Judge. Number 6 on the year. And it's 9-1 Yankees.
Well, Aaron Boone was talking to the media before the game, and he said he had his lineup configured this way because he might get a matchup out of the bullpen that would be in their favor. Tim Mesa, the lefty, against Aaron Judge, the power-hitting righty, is a matchup in the Yankees' favor any day or night.
6 home runs, 17 runs batted in 7 games. And a strike to Chisholm. Team's 23rd home run. Judge has 6 of them. The Pirates as a team have 5.
You just look at that matchup for Tim Mesa. Throws 93, 94. Aaron Judge doesn't have to worry about velocity. He can just look out over the plate. With all that power to right center field. Good matchup for him. Again, another look at the swing. You don't have to worry about velocity in on your hands. Look for the ball out over the plate and get it up in the air.
So the man who served up his 61st home run serves up number 6 here in Pittsburgh. Judge's 321st career home run. Strike 3. Chisholm down looking. Jazz 0 for 5. So round number for games, his 1,000th game today, and 321, more than anybody's hit in 1,000 games. Goldschmidt takes a strike from Mesa. Goldschmidt's 2 for 4, a couple of singles. Way outside. Hey, fans, go to @Yes Network on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Is it number 1, Aaron Judge, number 2, Jazz Chisholm Jr., or number 3, Anthony Volpe? Mesa fields, sets, and gets Goldschmidt for the final out. But a team that is just bashing the baseball at a record pace, they add another. Aaron Judge, home run number 6 into the Pittsburgh sky. Yankees lead 9-1.
It's time for your Ford Studio Update. update. Bob and Jack with you, and for a second straight start, Max Fried getting some nice offensive support.
Yeah, we saw the version of Max Fried that the Yankees hope they see all season long. He did a nice job, but you're right, Bob. It was the bats that once again were the headline of this game. How about the bottom 3 hitters in the Yankee order? The first 4 innings of this game, 5 hits, 6 runs scored. And of course, it wouldn't be a Yankee game without Aaron Judge hitting a home run, as he just did.
We will see all of that action coming up on the postgame, guys.
Thank you, guys. 9-12-0 for the Yanks, 1-6-2 for the Pirates. Fried went 5 2/3. Aaron Judge, 2-run home run and a walk. Keller lasted 2 outs into the 4th. And Brian Reynolds, the only run for the Pirates with a home run. Cruz in there after getting the final out of the 6th, and then he will face the bottom 3rd of the order for Pittsburgh. So, John, he's a 2-time MVP. He's one of the faces of baseball. But let me throw this at you. Is it possible that he's underrated? I mean, we take it for granted?
Well, I think we maybe take it for granted.
That one's going to be up against the wall. Judge Fields as Rodriguez gets a leadoff double.
Because we see it every day,
right?
I mean, it's just right when he makes contact, the ball goes up in the air. You're like, oh, it's another home run. And not that we don't appreciate what he's doing, but when you see it day in and day out, you do take it for granted.
And guys, we've seen him go on unbelievable tears over the years, and it's during those times when he steps into the batter's box, Flash, to your point, that you almost expect it, that he's going to walk up to the batter's box and hit a home run. And Aaron Boone was talking about it the other day, that sometimes he just sits in that dugout as he's watching and pinches himself to remind himself that this is not normal. This may be Aaron Judge normal, but it is very hard to barrel up a baseball consistently. And 2 games ago, he said the craziest thing is he doesn't feel like Aaron Judge is quite locked in yet offensively, and this is what we're seeing. And he said, well, where do you think he can go? And he's like, I don't know, but I know sometimes he goes up there, it's a single, gets an extra base hit, and Judge will eventually come back to the dugout, and Aaron Boone will kind of joke with him and say, that's all you had there? I thought you had more there.
And now yesterday, it kind of became a thing, starting with Jazz. They want to be like Judge when they grow up.
Yeah, I asked him about the performance he's seen from Judge so far this year. He said, I just want to be like him when I grow up. And I said, well, he stole a bag today. And he said, yeah, now he's doing that too. So he's trying to keep up with them. Not too far behind this year, but obviously tough task to try to keep up with that man.
And, John, I think he could steal more bases, but it doesn't make sense to get himself hurt doing it.
No, I don't think so. You know, the only thing I can relate this to is I've sat behind home plate when Barry Bonds was standing next to home plate, and the feeling that I had behind the plate a lot of the times with a young pitching staff, let's say at Tampa Bay, they didn't have enough to get him out, and you knew it, and everybody else knew it. So you tend to pitch around a guy like Barry Bonds. He would take his walks, but Aaron Judge, he still gets pitches to hit, and he doesn't miss them.
Swing and a miss. That splitter really is almost unhittable. Well, maybe Judge could hit it.
Another look at the split. Wells gets a target middle of the plate and just dives out of the strike zone.
I was talking to Boone after the 6-up, 6-down performance by Cruz the other day with 4 strikeouts. I went back to look at the pitches, and he said they weren't even close. The swings weren't even close. The people were missing by 3 feet. He said the drop is so drastic.
Well, it's great arm speed where he's selling it where it looks like a fastball and then completely disappears.
That one is looped into center field. It's going to be a base hit. Rodriguez will stop at 3rd. So IKF with a bloop single, his 2nd hit of the day.
We know IKF, a hitter that just puts the ball in play, lets it travel deep into the strike zone, and just fights it off.
Here comes Matt Blake. talk with Cruz. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Brent Hedrick warming for the Yanks. He has caught Aaron Boone's eye. Been impressive. Now, in case you missed it, Devin Williams has rejoined the team after being gone for 3 days with paternity leave. And the Yankees designated Adam Ottavino for assignment after just signing him. He pitched in 2 games for the Yanks. That one is ripped to left field and deep. That ball is gone into the first row. A 3-run shot for Hayes. And the Pirates trying to get back in it.
Well, we talked about Hayes being an outstanding defensive third baseman. They're waiting for the bat to catch up. He's had some good swings today, a bunch of fly balls to left field, but gets a hanging slider and hits it in the perfect part of this ballpark, right down the line. 3-run shot gets the Pirates right back in it.
That's kind of the only forgiving part of left field. It's a deep left field, but it does cut into the foul pole, and he found that first row. So his first home run of the year, his first ribbies. And that's going to do it for Fernando Cruz. So with Reynolds coming up, it's going to be Brent Hedrick. Yankees lead this one 9-4. It's time to name that Yankee. Here are the clues. He played for the Yankees from 57 to 65. Another clue for you, John, became one of the best baseball analysts ever.
Oh.
Tony Kubek. Did Yankee games on MSG, did national games on NBC. He was great.
Bad hop, right?
Yeah, the one that got him in the throat. The 1960 World Series, Casey out to check him out. Bobby Richardson there as well. Both Bobby and Tony retired much earlier than you would expect for really solid, more than solid players. And that's one of the great booths ever. Bob Costas and Tony Kubek for NBC, and that was produced by our esteemed John J. Filippelli. Brent Hedrick takes over.
Now, you said they both retired early. Why? What was the reasoning for that?
I think they were just done, and the Yankees got, bad in a hurry. In 65, they were awful after all those years of winning, dating back to the 1920s, and it was just time to move on. I mean, that drop, John, was just unforeseen. They were in the World Series, took the Cardinals to the 7th games in 1964, and then, I mean, it was just unusual to see Mickey Mantle and those guys playing on just an awful team. That was the beginning of a long stretch of bad baseball. So they went from 1964 to 1976 before they got back to the World Series. Take a look at the Optimum Don't Take Slow for an answer replay.
O'Neal Cruz, stolen base number 7, has not been thrown out yet this year. Power and speed, a big part of his game.
Nine 9-4 Yanks. Cruz 0 for 2 with a walk and that stolen base. 1-2. Two and two. Check swing, fouled right over the Pirate dugout. Crowd of 36,893. Many of them have left. This was not a happy opening day crowd. They were loaded for bear. Did not come into this feeling too good about their team. Right back to Hedrick. And that's going to do it. But the Pirates get 3 runs, 3 hits, a big blow. Hayes' 3-run home run. Time to take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. 2 more games here in Pittsburgh, 4:05 tomorrow, 1:35 on Sunday, then on to Detroit. Get the coats out. It's supposed to be freezing. 3 night games in Detroit against the Tigers. Monday and Tuesday on Yes. Wednesday is on Prime. Hyundai scoreboard, 9-4 Yankees lead. They have 12 hits. Pirates have 9. Austin Wells leads off the 8th inning against Tim Mesa. And a strike. On this date back in 1974, Hank Aaron hit a home run in Cincinnati off of Jack Billingham. And that tied Babe Ruth at 714. And remember back then that, you know, the Braves wanted Hank Aaron to wait until they got to Atlanta. And baseball said, no, he's got to play. And then he hits the home run. But he did eventually break the record in Atlanta off of Al Downing. High fly ball. Canario puts that one away, and 1 down here in the 8th. So Austin Wells 0 for 4 with a hit by pitch. Also scored a run. Here's Anthony Volpe. He has a couple of hits, also hit by a pitch. Oh and 1. Volpe picked up an RBI in the 4th. Now has 9 ribbies on the season with 4 home runs. That one misses outside, 1-1.
Well, it's good to see Anthony get off to a good start this year after what he did in the postseason for the Yankees last year. Looked like a different hitter in the postseason, carried it right into the beginning of this year.
1-2. Feels like it's getting a little bit cooler here in Pittsburgh, as the rain is getting closer according to all the forecasts. Fouled away. Line down the right field line, but it slices into the seats. Foul. And the race is on. You ever catch a ball as a fan?
Never.
Me neither. Three and two. Fly ball right center. On the run is Cruz, and it's going to be over his head and up against the wall. Volpe with some power there. Powered it to right center out of the reach of Cruz, who has great speed.
It just looked like Anthony Volpe kind of lunged out over the plate. It wasn't even his A swing. Just kind of getting the barrel of the bat on the ball. And you're right, good carry to right center field.
Here's Grisham. Tries to bunt. And they say he did offer. 0-1. Good start for Grisham, hitting .500 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Great OPS. He's in the lineup today because Cody Bellinger's back was a little stiff. They say no big concern, but with the quick turnaround from last night, they wanted to give him today off. And as John mentioned earlier, they want to get Grisham more bats this year. But it was hard last year because Judge wants to play every day. Soto plays every day, and Verdugo was in there all the time too. So there weren't many opportunities with the DH spot being occupied by Giancarlo Stanton as Grisham goes down on strikes. There's Jason Dominguez. Both of the Yankees switch hitters in the 8th and 9th spot getting opportunities to bat from the right side, which is not their strong side, and they're going to have a lot of that in this series because, as John mentioned, there are 4 lefties in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh bullpen was so roughed up and stunned by having the 3 walk-off losses against Miami. John, they sent down their closer, David Bednar, who's been the closer for 4 years, and they sent him down.
Yep. Shaking things up.
Ground ball, shortstop. Canapalefa across the diamond to retire Dominguez, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, on 1 man left. Yankees 9-4. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Hyundai scoreboard. Yankees lead 9-4 here at PNC Park. First pitch is low to Joey Bart. Hedrick still in there. Came on to get the final 2 outs in the 7th. You know, injury talk and, you know, seeing the Yankee bullpen being deployed. Scott Efros again had a setback with his hamstring, so now there doesn't seem to be a timetable. Things are going okay with Ian Hamilton. He should be back by Detroit. But Efros's Yankee career has been derailed by injury after injury.
One thing after another.
But the Yankees know that sometime at the beginning of May, they're going to get back Jonathan Loaizaga, who, when healthy, is about as good as you can get as a reliever.
Michael, also an update on Jake Cousins. He's expected to start throwing from the mound within the next week to 10 days. Luis Heel is expected to start his throwing program within the next week to 10 days. And Tyler Matzik is expected to go on a rehab assignment soon. They think he could be back by the end of the month. So some arms on the way.
If you project the injured relievers and then you put them into this bullpen, it's going to be a force for the Yankees. It really will. Because you've got a top flight closer. You've got Luke Weaver, who was a great closer for the last month and a half of the season and the postseason. You bring back Loaizaga and all the names that we just mentioned. That's a pretty formidable bullpen for the Yanks.
I'd say this too. Leiter Jr. looks like a different pitcher this year. This stuff is ticked up.
And Yoendris Gomez has pitched very well as well. Here's Weaver, closed out yesterday's game. Volpe, there's one. There's two. They double up McCutchen. 6-4-3.
That's just a really nice turn all the way around from Anthony Volpe, getting rid of it quickly and giving Jazz Chisholm a perfect throw. Chest high, and then the easy turn and the strong throw from Jazz. Nice double play.
Now they're going to ask the umpires to take a look. They don't have a challenge, but you can ask in the last two innings if they'd be willing to take a look. And it looked like McCutchen beat that out.
This will be a crew chief challenge, challenging the call at second and challenging the out call at first.
Now, I don't know why second is in question. It's the old bromide. Tie goes to the runner.
Yep.
But they said they're also looking at the play at second. No. They have nothing.
After review, the call at second is confirmed. He is out. First base, overturned, safe.
So even with that good turn at second base, McCutchen just barely beats it out.
That was close. Well, we mentioned earlier that the starter for the Pirates, Mitch Keller, was celebrating his 29th birthday. It's also the birthday of Brian Hoke, who covers the Yankees for MLB.com. And I bring that up not because of Brian. Why should he get a birthday wish?
Wow.
But his wife, Connie, her uncle, Steve Schwab, he collapsed overnight with a heart issue, but he's such a big fan that he's watching from his hospital bed. He's watching the game. So get better quick.
Oh, please get better quick.
That's driven out to right field and deep. Going back is Judge, reaching up and making the play. covering a lot of ground and hauling it in, taking away an extra base hit.
Well, some veteran right fielders for both ball clubs making some nice defensive plays. McCutchen for the Pirates and Aaron Judge cruising to right center field, had a perfect jump, a perfect route.
And an eye roll by Hedrick.
Hedrick appreciates it. Making it look easy out in right field.
Rodriguez swings and misses.
So I really did not expect us to go there with a happy birthday to Brian Hoke and what it turned into.
Right. I surprised people. It was all for, Mr. Schwab.
I hope he feels better. Michael, you mentioned that Hedrick has gotten Aaron Boone's attention, and you can see why. Fastball is only about 93, 94, but you watch some of the swings against that pitch. It was a good one in 96.
So that'll do it here in the 8th. No runs, no hits. One man left. Let's go to the 9th inning. Well, fans, stay tuned after the final out for tonight's WB Mason Yankees postgame as Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will have highlights and analysis. Meredith Marakovitz gets player interviews in the clubhouse, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up next on Yes, and of course the Gotham Sports app. Justin Lawrence comes in to pitch the 9th inning. This will be his 4th game. He'll face 9-1-2 Cabrera, Rice, and Judge. Cabrera back around to the left side. 1-0. Big cut. Three hits for Cabrera in this game. Almost got him. They say he checked his swing. 2-2.
You can see Lawrence drops down to that 3/4 arm angle. Ball's going to be running away from Cabrera, and the slider down and in at his back foot. Lawrence pitched Tuesday against the Rays, struck out 2 of the 4 batters that he faced.
Right in on the hands, and Cabrera down on strikes.
That's a tough combo. You're looking for that 2-seamer out over the plate, and the slider runs inside. Swing right over the top.
Lawrence was claimed off waivers from the Rockies in March. His 5th big league season. Had a rough year last year for the Rockies, 6.49 ERA. But again, that's in Colorado, half your games. 1-0 to Rice. I think she might be proactive right now because I don't see it raining just yet.
Doesn't look good, though.
Oh, it's raining. She was not proactive. She was reactive. And that's a walk to Rice. That's going to bring up Judge. Last time up, Judge hit a home run. It was his 321st. So this is his 1,000th career game. In Babe Ruth's first 1,000 games for the Yankees, he hit 321 home runs. Wow. That's why you stay the whole game, John, to get nuggets like that.
So we're watching our Babe Ruth.
A Ruthian performance, yep. Inside, 1-1. So Judge with 7 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Well ahead of last year's pace when he finished with 58 home runs. You can see Lawrence has some life on his fastball.
Aaron Boone was talking about Aaron Judge before the game and gave him one of the greatest compliments you could ever give a player. He knows how to handle the daily grind and never gets one way or another. It's just day after day after day. And that's a mental mindset that separates the good players from the superstar players. It's ability, of course, but it's not giving away at bats.
Another thing I noticed about him, he is so beloved in that room by his teammates. And there's the home run in the 7th inning, because when he got those 62 home runs a couple of years ago to break the record, everybody was pulling for him. There was not any jealousy and, you know, envy or anything like that. They wanted him to do it. That's how respected he is.
Well, you hear all the time, all the young players especially talking about how Aaron Judge treats them right when they make it up to the major leagues. There's a respect and acceptance, and he doesn't carry himself like a superstar player that we all know he is.
Rice goes, swing and a miss, to throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Rice as Judge strikes out. Second stolen base for Rice.
Well, you take another look at the pitch, a sweeper down and away. Barked a good throw, but Rice, like he was able to get in there, but they might challenge this one, or the umpires might check. At first slide to the back of the bag.
This will be a crew chief challenge of the safe call at second base.
You know, when you see this kind of stuff, looks like he's going to be out. When you see this, John, there is no negativity for issuing a dumb challenge like the Pirates did earlier. Because
the umps just check anyway.
Yeah, they check anyway, so you don't even need a challenge. There should be some penalty if you wasted your challenge. That, okay, we blew a call, but you don't get a chance to reverse it because you challenged something you shouldn't have. Probably reverse that, right?
You would think so. And Rice did everything right, trying to dive to the back corner of the bag. It looked like the tag was applied on his hip.
I think they're going to issue enough challenges, John, just so there's a downpour.
Just keep us here a little bit longer.
Why not? Love the ballpark. Looks pretty clear cut from what we've seen.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out.
We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees holding on to a 5-run lead. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Buy Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. And by Hyundai, with a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Some of the fans departing the ballpark, taking the Clemente Bridge to the other side of the Allegheny. And Devin Williams hasn't pitched in a while. Will take over. Last time we saw him was opening day. And he had a little bit of a thrill ride in that one, but ended up getting out of it and picking up the save. Missed the 3 games against the Diamondbacks on paternity leave. Fouled away. Adam Frazier pinch hitting for Triolo.
Well, we know for Williams, it's all about that air bender, that quality changeup that he has, but he's got enough on his fastball, too, that you have to respect it, about 94, 95.
Now, I was talking to some of the guys with the Milwaukee Brewers, and they said that one of the issues was he didn't want to throw the fastball that much, and he just kept throwing airbender after airbender, and after a while, the Brewers knew it was coming. That's why they obviously posted that rally in the 9th inning on opening day.
Well, our colleague David Cohn says it all the time. You have to protect your best pitch, and his best pitch is a changeup. How do you protect it? You have to throw enough fastballs to get hitters off of it.
High fly ball on the right side. Chisholm makes the play. One down here in the 9th.
It's always a concern when you have a pitcher who's been away from the club for a few days for paternity. He's going to be able to find the strike zone since when he comes back. So far, so good.
The 0-1 to Kiner-Falefa. Lofted into center field. Grisham is there. Yankees an out away. And that'll bring up Ke'Bryan Hayes. One of the rare bright spots for the Pirates today. A 3-run home run in the 7th inning off of the Yankees' Fernando Cruz. 1-0. Devin, first time on the mound since welcoming a baby boy into the world. There's a strike. Pirates are down to their final strike.
One more strike, one more out. Max Fried will pick up his first win as a New York Yankee. Yankee fans hoping to see a lot more of that.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on Hayes. Devin Williams deals. Pass Wells all the way to the backstop, 3-2. And he walks Hayes as the Pirates keep the game alive. And that brings up Brian Reynolds. Williams wants a new ball. Reynolds had a home run in the third inning for the first Pirate run. The Yankees scored 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and then 2 in the seventh. They have 13 hits to Pittsburgh's 9. 9-4 Yanks. Runner goes. There'll be no throw, so Hayes takes second on defensive indifference. The 2-1. Popped up on the left side, but that makes the seats out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the count 3-2 on Reynolds. Hayes leads off second. Yankees lead by 5. Bottom of the 9th inning. Strike 3. Ball game. Yankees win this one 9-4 to start the road trip with a victory. Another home run for Aaron Judge. Devin Williams will give that ball to his newborn son Zabi. And the Yankees beat the Pirates in the Pirates home opener.
Well, another day, another home run for Aaron Judge, but I love the pressure that the Yankees put out there offensively. Traffic from the first inning on, putting up 9 runs, and Max Fried, congratulations on his first win as a New York Yankee.
Well, the Yankees are off to a good start. They've won 5 of their first 7 games, 5-2. Another game tomorrow, but we have so much more to come right here. We'll wrap things up, give out awards, and then the post game after that. Yankees win 9-4. We take a look at the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, Max Fried, his second start as a New York Yankee, picks up his first win, and a big reason why that 12-6 curveball responsible for some of your Audi electric moments.
Time now for the Cadillac drive of the game. I wonder what this one is.
Well, Aaron Judge just keeps doing his thing. A 2-run shot to right center field off the lefty Tim Meza. That's your Tri-State Cadillac drive of the game.
All right, here's how it broke down. 9-13-0 Yanks, 4-9-2 for the Pirates. Took 3 hours and 18 minutes. Fried with the win. Keller, his first loss. Judge with the home run. And Key Brian Hayes also with a home run. Coming up on the YES Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the YES Network is Mr. Jared Ames Bosnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees continue their series against the Pirates. Coverage begins at 3 on YES, with first pitch coming shortly after 4. Once again, the final score, the Yankees 9 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 4. For John Flaherty and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Now, let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by in our YES Network studios with the postgame show. Guys?
And it's great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Final for Pittsburgh. Yankees win the opener 9-4. As we get your Hyundai opening comment, Jack, I know you're going to say the Yankees offense bottomed out today, but you're going to mean it in the best possible way.
You have to mean it in the best possible way. When your 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters have 20 plate appearances and they reach base 14 times and they get 9 hits and they knock in 7 runs, that is going to fuel you to a win. That's what happened with the Yankees today. Of course, another game, another home run from Aaron Judge, so he made sure that he contributed. Max Fried pitched well. He was effective against the Pittsburgh Pirates team that is in for a long season. The Yankees just finished playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. You watch that team play and you say, this team is going to October. You watch the Pirates play and you have them limping through the rest of the season. An old baseball axiom, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. The Yankees are supposed to beat the Pirates.
Yankees with 9 runs and 13 hits on the board, and let's focus on the bottom of that order and our optimum players of the game. It's got to be plural because you mentioned the bottom 4. We'll start top of the second. Runner on first for Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, Dominguez just needs at-bats. He just needs reps. He fell behind 0-2 in this at-bat. Bob works it to 3-2 and then takes that inside fastball down the right field line for a double. Grisham goes to third.
Next batter is Oswaldo Cabrera. Had 1-0 on the count, drives one to left center, and just quality at bat after quality at bat we're seeing.
Yeah, he recognized that slider out of the hand of Keller. 2-run score. Yankees go up 2-0 early.
He'll take the extra base. He did that. Top of the third, 2 away. Grisham jumping on the first pitch. IKF can't handle it. It was ruled a single. Then up comes Dominguez with, again, a really good at bat.
You ever heard of hit 'em where they ain't? That's exactly what Dominguez does here. Bloops it into left field. Another run comes around to score as Canario kicks it around in left field. Exit velo on that one, Bob. 72 miles an hour.
Take it. 3-0 game. Runners at the corners, 2 away. Cabrera the other way. Grisham in easily. Dominguez hustling first to third. Yankees extend their lead to 4. And the Yankees starting lineup, Chisholm and Wells did not have hits, but again, focus on the 6 through 9 hitters. As Jack said, 9 for 15, 2 doubles, 7 runs batted in, and 5 runs scored. And right after the game, Meredith Morakovich talked with Oswaldo Cabrera on the field.
Oswaldo, another win for the team, another nice offensive performance all the way around with 9 runs. Can you describe the confidence that this lineup comes to the ballpark with every day?
You see our guys working every time. You see they have the focus, they have the confidence right now on it, so it's just to keep rolling.
Great afternoon and early evening for you. 3 for 4, 4 RBI. You were feeling it. What was working for you up there at the plate? What clicked?
I'm every time working over there, so I'm trying to get better every time. I think the last couple games wasn't in the way that I want, so I just come back to keep working on it and just try to find my way.
Were there any specific adjustments that you made?
Just focus in the things that I have to do, just try to do less, think less, and try to be myself.
When you look at the 6 through 9 hitters today, 9 for 15 with 7 RBI, how much pride do you guys take in that?
I'm so proud of my boys. I know they are working so hard for being this spot right now, so I think see our guys doing those type of things make me feel so proud of them.
You had a good view of watching Fried work from third base. What did you think of him?
Yeah, he's so, I don't know if this is a good word. I don't want to tell it, but he's so good. He is so good. He is one of the, hey, Harky. He's one of the best pitchers that I ever see, so I'm so happy to having him in the team.
Hey, I think that's bullpen coach Mike Harkey's way to tell us to wrap things up because it's raining. Congratulations, Oswaldo.
Thank you, Meredith, and thank you. I really enjoy being here with you. Thank you.
We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Meredith. Perpetual positivity, and it's funny, Jack, he's happy for his boys, and everybody's happy for him because, like Dominguez, you're talking about a guy that's now getting more regular reps, and it's showing in his at-bats.
Yeah, Oswaldo Cabrera is a gem of a guy off the field, but he's also a very important player on the field. He can do so many things for the Yankees, and you heard him tell Meredith about the at-bats that he had today. And sometimes, Bob, it's not about hitting the ball over the fence, even though Judge did. It's about putting the ball in play. And you watch what those bottom 4 in the order did for the Yankees. Volpe, Grisham, Dominguez, Cabrera. That's exactly what they did. 5 of the first 7 runs that the Yankees scored, all came with 2 outs. And those rallies were fueled by a couple of singles, a couple of hit batsmen. So you have to make sure you take care of those opportunities, and that's what they did.
Cabrera 3 for 4 with his first 4 runs batted into the season. Jack and I are going to take a break. Much more coming up here on the WB Mason postgame as we recap a 9-4 win for the Yanks in Pittsburgh. We'll hear from Aaron Boone coming up next.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Judge hits one to center field and deep. Going back, Kiermaier, turning, looking, see ya! A monster home run! Back-to-back home runs in their first big league at-bats. Can you believe it? Here's Aaron Judge. That ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Judge. Number 6 on the year.
Aaron Judge, the power-hitting righty, is a matchup in the Yankees' favor any day or night.
The memorable moments presented by Prevagen just keep coming your way, courtesy of Aaron Judge. And now let's cook up something special, courtesy of Hexclad. Home runs through the first 1,000 games with the Yankees. Aaron Judge with 321, Babe Ruth with 321. And Jack, so many Yankees fans never got to see Babe Ruth play. We are essentially watching him play now in Aaron Judge.
Just a monumental statistic right there, comparison. When you talk about Judge being exactly where Babe Ruth was, you have to pause for a second and think about that. Judge has found himself on so many lists and has had so many accolades that sometimes you might have the tendency to get numb to it. Oh, Judge is the first to do this since Joe DiMaggio. He's the only one to do this since Lou Gehrig. But think about that. Through the first 1,000 games of his career, he has equaled what Babe Ruth, the greatest home run hitter, I know not statistically, but the greatest home run hitter of all time in my eyes. Just to be able to do that, sometimes you realize when you're watching a player, you're watching a future Hall of Famer. I felt that way about Jeter. I felt that way about Rivera. You have to feel that way about Judge as well.
Part of a 9-4 win for the Yankees in the opener against the Pirates. Let's hear from the manager, Aaron Boone, about it in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, how impressed were you with 6 through 9 in the order this afternoon?
Man, terrific. I thought the pressure from everyone all day, was excellent. Just really good at bats from Jump, from Rice and Judge. You get on. I felt like a couple calls maybe don't go our way there early, and but just the pressure 1 through 9 that they were putting on, and then obviously JD coming up with some big hits, Grish doing his thing, and Cabby had a big day. So that's what those guys are capable of, and they were excellent today.
Cabrera had said he had not been pleased with his at-bats, felt like there was more there. Did you notice anything different aside from the solid results today from him?
Not necessarily. I thought, swinging the good pitches, got a little fortune on that second one, kind of off the cap, but I thought he had good at-bats all day, good at-bat right-handed there, going the other way, late, big walk, where, in that inning where, we took advantage of some just patience at the plate, embodied by that walk there that led to a run. So just, I feel like he's been almost there throughout, but today was definitely sharp.
So much is made about the amount of home runs this team has hit and is capable of hitting, but how encouraged are you by the fact that it wasn't just the long ball today?
Yeah, I think it's a way we can do it. You see the athleticism showing up now. I feel like that's in play for us, and just overall probably being hopefully a little more deep throughout the lineup and a little more balanced throughout the lineup. But these guys are really putting together a lot of quality at bats and making it tough on the opponent. Again, that's it's a good opponent in Keller you're going up against. And I felt like they pressured him all day long.
What do you think of Max today?
Max was good. Good step for him. Just a little sharper with his command and his lines. But a big step from the last one. Feel like hopefully he's off and running now. I thought stuff-wise he was good.
Aaron.
How much were you kind of holding your breath there when Judge went tumbling into the wall in the field?
Yeah, a lot. I jumped right up. Fortunately, he said there was a little more room on the track than he thought, so he kind of got a little, I think, probably a little bit lost in space there. So, yeah, definitely a tense little moment there.
It was his 1,000th game of his Major League Baseball career. How would you evaluate the 1,000?
Doing all right, kid. Keep it up.
1,000 games, almost a 10-year career. Yeah. Is he a Hall of Famer for you?
Yes.
What is?
I mean, I think he's, this generation's one of the greatest players, and I mean, I think it's no-brainer.
That's a conversation that Jack and I already had. We're going to hear from Aaron Judge coming up in just a bit. But do want to ask you about sort of the offense as a whole. We're just seeing little things. Remember how you were talking about today when we broke down the torpedo bat, winning on the edges, right? Finding things to do, going first to third. We saw Dominguez do that today. Ben Rice with a couple stolen bases. Aaron Judge had one. Oswaldo Cabrera stretching single into a double. I mean, there's little things that are adding up for the Yankees.
As the offseason unfolded for the Yankees and Soto departed to the Mets, and then they pivoted and added Bellinger and Goldschmidt, and then on the pitching side, Fried and Williams, the one thing you consistently heard from Yankee executives was they're going to be a different team in 2025, but a team that could win in different ways. And I think today was an example of that, Bob, with a lot of what you just spoke about and a lot of what we've already talked about with just quality at-bats, smart at-bats. Let's go back a couple of days ago against the Diamondbacks. Now, granted, it was Burns and Gallen on the mound for the most part, and then the Diamondbacks bullpen. 30 strikeouts and 70 plate appearances across 2 games. Today, the Yankees were putting the ball in play. And as I mentioned, one time Dominguez had a base hit that traveled 72 miles an hour. One time Cabrera had one that traveled 66 miles an hour. But they put the ball in play. They made things happen. And it was an exciting day for their offense. When you get that kind of contribution from the last 4 hitters in your offense, you are thrilled, because that's not something you expect.
And a day in which Bellinger, one of the superstars, is out of the lineup, right? But somebody else picks up the slack. Grisham's certainly a part of that in the outfield. We'll take another break, but stick around. We're going to hear from the captain, Aaron Judge, coming up next. Homer number 6 on the season, number 321 for his career, and game number 1,000 for Aaron Judge. Captain's coming up next.
Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Let's focus more on the impact that Aaron Judge had in this game, and let's go bottom second and the impact that he had on the wall in right field. Jack, this play for a moment was a little worrisome.
Yeah, Brian Hayes hits it. Judge catches it, but as he catches it, you're right, Bob, worrisome, because the left elbow on the left side collided with the fence. He was okay, and he proved that throughout the game, including innings later when he takes this Tim Meza offering out for his 6th of the season. He also hit number 61 against Meza in his 62-homer season.
That is a collision that you do want to see. And then this play, nice hustle to track this ball down on the run over his head to help preserve a 9-4 Yankees victory. So the captain, once again, the numbers are prolific. We mentioned 1,000 career games. He's at 321. That matches Babe Ruth on the Yankees all-time list for 1,000 games. But as far as Major League Baseball goes all-time, how about Ryan Howard? Was it 279 through 1,000 career games? Jack brought that up on the pregame. Judge is far and away the leader in that category with 321. And here he is post-game with the media and Meredith.
Aaron, first of all, what do you think of the contributions you guys got today, especially from the bottom of the order? It seemed like 1 through 9 guys were finding ways to get stuff done.
Oh, it was impressive. Like you said, this was, you want to start right at the bottom with Cabrera. The game he had for us, just 4 RBIs, hitting the ball over the field. taking good at-bats. You know, when you have a chance to have a guy like that down there that can turn the lineup over and get it to Benny and me and Jazz, it makes for a long night for a starting pitcher. That's how we're able to wear down so many pitchers.
Today was your 1,000th Major League Baseball game. You hit a home run in this one. Aaron Boone was just asked about your career so far, and he said, no doubt, going to be a Hall of Famer. Just what's your reaction to hearing your manager say that?
It's great praise, but I live in the present. You know, we got things to do. Got a lot of work to do, so we'll talk about that in a couple of years.
You at all worried at that play? He ran into the wall there. Aaron said he had held his breath, but you're totally good on that?
Yeah, we're good. That's just a bad read on me. You know, they got a bigger warning track, so I thought I was right by the wall, but you know, I got to make that look a little more graceful next time.
Have you ever thought about that? Being a Hall of Famer, is that a goal that's present of mind for you?
Right now, no, because you know, I'm worried about the game we just had. You know, it's something we'll talk about down the road.
Max was a big signing for you guys. What's it like for you to see him get his first win?
Impressive. You know, I know he's excited to be here. He wanted to be a Yankee. You know, you saw the nerves and excitement in his first start, especially at home. You know, to see him come out here and, you know, get that first win. You know, the offense was backing him all game. Some good defensive plays all around, too. Good to get that first one out of your way, so now you can kind of exhale and get on.
Aaron, how much do you think Oswaldo is benefiting from knowing he's going to be in the lineup most days and getting everyday at-bats? He really, his previous 3 years, had not had that.
Yeah, it's anytime you get a chance to play every single day and the manager kind of tells you, hey, you're going to be our guy over there, I think just having that little bit of extra confidence allows you to go up there with a freer mind. You know, so many times where you're kind of looking behind your back, like, is this going to be the last game? I got to get a hit right now, or else, you know, am I going to play tomorrow? But again, a guy like that, you know, you tell Cabby, you know, we even saw at the beginning of the year last year where he's kind of our everyday guy while DJ was down. You know, he went out there and was hitting, I think, 400 for a couple weeks. So it's, he's got it in him. You know, he's an impressive player. You know, he's been around in our organization for a long time now, and excited for him to finally get a shot.
Going into spring training, there's some questions about how this lineup might perform. Just it looks so different from last year. What do you like most about what you see in this lineup?
Just the depth. I think that was the biggest thing. You know, we got guys all the way down to our 9-hole that can, you know, leave the park on you or give you a 7-8 pitch at bat and then, you know, drill a ball in the gap. So I think just having the depth where it's not just a couple guys in the lineup you got to worry about. You know, you get down there and you got Goldie and Wells and Volpe hiding out there in the middle of the lineup. Makes for just a long night for the pitching staff.
What do you like specifically about Volpe's start to the year?
I love seeing the homers, but I also love seeing him use the whole field. You know, we saw it today where he's taking some balls off the plate, driving into right field. I think that's the biggest thing. When this guy puts the ball in play, you know, barrels it up, good things are going to happen. So it's been impressive to see so far, and looking forward to more of it.
Aaron, do you think you're a Hall of Famer? I just want to make sure we win today. And, Jack, that is the right answer, right? Because he does what he did today, and then he does it tomorrow, and then he does it the next day and throughout the season, and that's where he's headed.
That's Aaron Judge's answer. That's the expected answer, because when Aaron Judge does interviews, he doesn't make it about himself. No matter how successful he is in that game or how successful he has been in his career, he always wants to defer to his teammates. He always wants to give them the credit. But his manager said it best on the heels of what we said. It is a no-brainer that Aaron Judge is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. We talk about what he has been able to accomplish. He has 2 MVPs. He should have a 3rd. He should have won the year when he finished 2nd to Altuve. And now, yes, it's 1 week into the season, but he looks like he could be the MVP in the American League all over again this season. He is focused on the present, though, Bob. He's talking about trying to make sure he can accomplish today and tomorrow to help make the Yankees a better team. But Yankee fans should enjoy this because, again, you're watching a guy who's very, very likely to be in Cooperstown one day.
We got to take a break, but coming up next on the WB Mason postgame, a guy who just wants to fit in pinstripes and the road grays and get his first Yankees win, and Max Fried did that today. We're going to hear from him and talk about him coming up next.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law, New York City's powerhouse firm for victims.
Take a look at Max Fried's second outing as a Yankee, courtesy of your local Ford stores, and definitely looked a lot better this time around facing Pittsburgh. Bottom of the first, I want to go back to this play, Jack. Facing Cabrian Hayes, who lifts one out to right. I thought it was interesting, Judge saying he didn't have a feel for the wall out there. So, again, visiting ballpark, you don't play there much.
They claimed he got a bad read on it, but he drifted back, was able to make the play, did collide with the wall, but said he's fine.
You talked about the curveball getting a little more effective here. The curveball wasn't great in that first outing, certainly better today.
Yeah, he gets the ground out there, and then this is an interesting play. Bart does not go, so they must not have had the contact play on. Cabrera with a nice play. That's the second out of the inning. And then Fried's going to strand both runners as he gets Triolo to fly out to Trent Grisham for the third out.
Now, I mentioned on a curveball, Brian Reynolds hit a solo shot, but then later in the bottom of the third, runner on second, he gets Bart swinging to end the inning and then really settled in the fourth.
Yeah, gets Canario to strike out on a curve. Rodriguez goes down swinging on the nasty hook. Bottom of the fifth, there was a leadoff single by IKF. Guess what? You are negated on a pickoff attempt. Well, and now it's a pickoff. Forget the attempt part of that. He's out in a rundown.
And finally, bottom of the sixth, Fried rolling, puts down Cruz on the curve, and then Bart going down for his sixth strikeout of the day. Really good final line. 5 2/3, 6 hits, just 1 run allowed. He only walked 1, and he had those 6 strikeouts. And again, the four-seamer, an effective pitch. They went just 2 for 10 against it. He stuck with that heavily, adding in more of the curveball, which was more effective today than his first outing, as well as the sinker and the sweeper. Let's hear from Fried now in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Max, just what have you thought in general of the offensive support you've received so far?
I mean, it's been incredible, especially early runs. You know, takes a lot off me where I know that I can be a little bit more aggressive and you know, go after guys. And you know, at that point when they're swinging the bat well, your job is just try to get in the dugout as quick as possible. So for me, today was working really well with Austin, just being able to you know, figure out what I needed to do to be able to, you know, get back to the guys who were able to hit.
What adjustments did you make from last time out? It seemed like you were maybe a little more comfortable, a little more efficient on that.
Just felt like it was a little bit more of my game. You know, able to execute some pitches. I felt like the fastball down and in was really good today, and you know, when I'm throwing that fastball in, it just, excuse me, it just opens up everything else.
What are your impressions of Aaron Judge being his teammate now for a couple weeks?
It's incredible. You know, just game in, game out, just what he's able to do. You know, be able to change a game with one swing at any moment, and you know, on top of that, making some really, really nice plays tonight too out in the outfield. So, you know, I said it before, but you know, I'm really happy that I'm on his team now.
What do you think of the catch he made, falling against the wall?
That was big for me, especially, you know, first play of the game, you know, 3-2, just want to be able to create contact, not walk, you know, the leadoff guy, and put a nice swing on it. And, you know, it definitely helps when that's an F9 instead of a, you know, double. So, it was especially just to be able to set the tone, and, you know, it was really big for me to get into rhythm.
You obviously knew he was an MVP from afar, but how would you describe what it's like to be his teammate?
I mean, it's as advertised. You know, he's, you know, just great teammate, you know, great player, and, you know, the great ones do it day in, day out, and the consistency's there, and to see what he does and the work that he puts in, you know, it makes sense.
You know, the highlights that we showed, that we went over with Fried, kind of showed the flow of his game. Early, Jack, it seemed like getting behind a few hitters, maybe trying to find his groove, which he did later in the game.
I think you heard him talk about that, saying finding his rhythm, and the Yankees scoring early absolutely helped that. But, Bob, he showed that bend, not break mentality today. The Pirates did have some runners on base against him, but when they did, they were 0 for 8 with runners on base. So Fried always had the ability to make the big pitch. We talked about when he came over here, he was going to generate a lot of weak contact, that batters weren't going to be able to barrel up the baseball against him. And we saw more of that today, and we saw the curveball. 5 of his 6 strikeouts coming on that curveball, and he can make even the best hitters look foolish when he's got that pitch working. Didn't have it in his first start with the Yankees. Absolutely had it today.
And got his first win as a Yankee today. We'll take another break. Much more coming up on the WB Mason postgame as we recap this 9-4 win. A 13-hit attack for the Yanks. Bottom 4 of the lineup just coming through in a big way, along with the captain with his 6th home run.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
We're back with our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And it was the Yanks breaking through first in their half of the second inning. Good at bat, 1 out. Trent Grisham's up. Hitters count 3-1. You know what you do, Jack? You take the walk, you pass the baton to Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, and he started out 0-2 in this at-bat. He gets it to 3-2. Then he gets an inside fastball that he laces down the right field line. It's going to be an easy double for the Martian. And Grisham cruises into third.
All right, so set up, second and third, 1 out, 1-0 count to Cabrera.
Yes, slider up in the zone. He is able to wrap it into center field. Ends up getting credited with a single. There was an error on the play. It was booted in center field, but he gets the 2 runs batted in. More importantly, the Yankees get the 2-0 lead, and they cruised.
They added 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 2 more in the seventh to win this one 9-4 in the opener in Pittsburgh. Game 2 on Saturday afternoon is going to have a Marcus Stroman on the mound. And when Jack and I come back, we will talk about that. So don't go anywhere.
Postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Great to have you back with us. Yankees get the 9-4 win, which means the boys in the back have been busy printing up Jack's Yes Press headline, and they were super happy because they got to print it up, got to get out of here, no rain delay. They're like, let's go. Friday night. No, what do you got?
They want to celebrate Friday night. They want to celebrate all weekend. But for tonight, the Yes Press headline is as follows. Started from the bottom, now it's clear. 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters and Judge. Power pit pounding.
That's a good play of words, alliteration.
Have to have a little fun there, maybe a little Drake reference in there. Not exactly on my playlist, but I had the lyrics from that. So we got to play around with. Max Fried did not make the headline, Bob, but we guarantee next time he pitches this well, we'll find a way to get him in there.
Let's talk about pitching and whether pitching powers said. There's nothing really with the Yankees, is there, with the P? That's why you do the headlines there, pal. Rest of the series probables, courtesy of Nissan. Marcus Stroman pitching for the Yanks on Saturday afternoon against Bailey Falter. Will Warren on Sunday against Andrew Heaney. Our coverage beginning Saturday at 3 o'clock. Just take it away. Hit me with some more alliteration.
Sorry I didn't help you. I should have had a thesaurus ready.
I got put you between a rock and a hard place there.
Stroman pitched into the 5th inning in his first start of the season, and he deserves a lot of credit. In the first inning, it really could have gone awry for him. He gave up 3 base runners. The Brewers had a run on the board, but he struck out Bowers, got out of that inning. Later, Bowers hit a home run off him, and he talked about how that being one of the pitches that he wanted to have back. But we always talk about managers and pitching coaches wanting to know what they're going to get out of the pitcher that they hand the baseball to, and I do believe the Yankees know that with Stroman. He's going to get a lot of ground balls. He's going to pitch to the edges. He wants batters to chase his pitches. Not going to get a lot of strikeouts, but what the Yankees need him to do is keep them in the game. And again, against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are off to a really slow start, and on the days where they don't have Skeens pitching, they're a beatable team.
And Marcus Stroman, career-wise against Pittsburgh, with some pretty good numbers, a sub-3 ERA. We'll see how that plays out on Saturday afternoon. Hope you'll join us for the batting practice show at 3. Pre-game at 3:30. First pitch a little after 4 o'clock. Rain could be in the forecast. Keep that on your radar as well. Well, we look forward to seeing you Saturday, 3 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Until then, take care.